This is Nationwide 90 FM, owned and operated by Nationwide News Network Limited. We broadcast from our studios at 14 Ocean Boulevard in the Digicel Center, downtown Kingston, Jamaica. Transmitting on the FM 90 band, 90.3 from Peters Rock in St. Andrew and Murphy Hill in St. Anne. Serving Kingston and St. Andrew, St. Catherine, St. Anne, parts of Clarendon, St. Mary and St. Thomas. 90.5 from Huntley in Manchester, transmitting to St. Elizabeth, Westmoreland, Manchester, Clarendon, rural St. Andrew and parts of St. Thomas. And 90.7 from Cooper's Hill in St. Andrew and Flower Hill in St. James. Serving Westmoreland, Hanover, St. James, sections of Trelawney, Kingston, St. Catherine, Clarendon, St. Mary, Portland and St. Anne. Nationwide 90 FM also broadcasts on YouTube at Nationwide 90 FM Live 2, RevoNews.ai and on Flow on channel 916. Nationwide 90 FM, a new revolution in media.
You're listening to Nationwide 90 FM. The time is
6 o'clock.
From the studios of Nationwide Radio, morning radio the right way. It's Nationwide This Morning.
Hey. Coming up in the news at 6 this morning, Tuesday, November 25, 2025, BOJ holding interest rates steady amid response to Hurricane Melissa. Tourism industry players want government to provide a stimulus package to cushion the impact of Melissa. Royalton says it will reopen all its Jamaican properties by September 2026. In regional news, TNT among countries to suspend flights into Venezuela amid rising regional tension. In international news, U.S. and Russian officials to meet in Abu Dhabi for Ukraine peace talks after deadly overnight strikes. And in sports, the Reggae Girls coach says his team must come out strong against Dominica in opening clash of the FIFA World Cup qualifiers on Saturday. And in business, Meta in talks to spend billions on Google's chips.
Are you ready to turn your sales and marketing skills into high earnings? Nationwide 90 FM is searching for business development executives to help us grow our business and build lasting client relationships. If you have experience across all stages of the sales cycle and possess strong communication, negotiation, and time management skills with a proven sales track record, this opportunity is perfect for you. Join our team and work with the top corporate brands, media agencies, and of course, our on-air personalities. Enjoy networking opportunities, professional growth, and competitive commissions. Ready to take the next step? Send your resume to hr@nationwidenewsnetwork.com today.
Catch the first news of the day. A comprehensive package of local, international, sports, and business news. The news at 6 on Nationwide 90 FM.
Now to the details. The Bank of Jamaica, BOJ, is holding its interest rate steady at 5.75% amid what's expected to be a weak macroeconomic environment in the wake of Hurricane Melissa. The decision came out of the most recent meeting of the BOJ's Monetary Policy Committee. Chevon Campbell tells us more.
According to the BOJ, the country's key macroeconomic indicators are expected to deteriorate in the short term due to severe infrastructure damage and disruptions to production and livelihoods caused by Hurricane Melissa. The economy is projected to contract sharply, while inflation is set to rise above the BOJ's 4 to 6% target range. Inflation currently sits at 2.9%. The spike in inflation will primarily stem from damage to major food-producing parishes and subsequent price increases across transport, household maintenance, energy, and personal care items. The BOJ's Monetary Policy Committee notes that the government's temporary suspension of the fiscal rules to facilitate recovery spending will add to domestic demand pressures. According to the committee, this represents an additional inflation risk. The committee further highlighted that the overall risks to inflation remain skewed to the upside. These include stronger than expected reconstruction demand, elevated inflation expectations, and potential long-term supply constraints in industries heavily affected by the hurricane. At the same time, the BOJ is cautioning that a slower recovery in incomes could dampen demand and reduce inflation pressures. In its assessment, the committee stressed that without decisive policy action, inflation could remain elevated for an extended period. As such, the BOJ has moved to support stability in the foreign exchange market. It's anticipating a surge in imports needed for national rehabilitation. Since the hurricane's passage, the central bank has already sold $210 million to the FX market. In the coming weeks, it will also supply foreign currency directly to select energy sector entities and reintroduce scheduled advance notices of intervention sales. In the coming weeks, it will also supply foreign currency directly to select energy sector entities and reintroduce scheduled advance notices of intervention sales. The bank signaled readiness to deploy additional measures if required to maintain orderly FX conditions. The Monetary Policy Committee believes that maintaining the policy rate alongside the targeted foreign exchange interventions will support the return of inflation to the target range by early 2027. Siobhan Campbell for Nationwide News.
At least two players in the local tourism industry are calling on the government to provide a stimulus package to stakeholders as a means of cushioning the impact of Hurricane Melissa. Several hotels in Western Jamaica are attempting to recover from significant infrastructure damage caused by the Category 5 system. General Manager of Deja Resort in Montego Bay, St. James, Robin Russell, says a stimulus package would be good for all.
Definitely. There are going to be a lot of people out of work, not only tourism workers, but farmers and the people that supply tourism. And that's why we have to get up. And one thing I want to say is, I don't think tourism wants to be pitied. So we need a stimulus to get us through this, but we're resilient, we're going to fight through it, and we're not just looking for pity, we're looking for support. We're looking for guests to visit Jamaica because we're still one of the best islands, if not the best island in the Caribbean. You're going to have a great time in Jamaica.
Robin Russell, General Manager of Deja Resort in Montego Bay, St. James. In 2020, the government crafted a $25 billion stimulus package for the tourism industry in response to the COVID-19 pandemic. Executive Chairman of Sandals Resorts International, Adam Stewart, says those worst affected by Hurricane Melissa need a helping hand.
I think Jamaica has been affected in different parts. You know, I toured the country myself, like many have. Ocho Rios, it got hit, but it didn't get nearly as badly hit as the South Coast. You know, the people of Negril, parts got hit. Many of our team members live in the Southwest. You know, they have homes in St. Elizabeth and parts. And I think those who have been most affected, I would love to see a program for them. The tourism industry has committed in excess of $1 billion as a grouping to support the team members and the ecosystem of tourism, which Minister Bartlett has led.
Adam Stewart, Executive Chairman of Sandals Resorts. The men were speaking on Nationwide at 5 and on Monday. Meanwhile, Adam Stewart says the vast majority of persons who planned to visit a Sandals hotel before Hurricane Melissa hit Jamaica have kept their booking.
There will be fall-off, of course, because of the negativity. People will delay their holidays. In a group like mine, some people have chosen to go to other islands. But the truth is, with my own company, about 75 to 80% of all travelers that were planning to come, we reopen on the 6th of December. About 75 to 80% of our Jamaica hotels, we're reopening 5 of our 8 hotels, are still planning to travel, which is higher than I would have expected. And I think it shows the trust, in my brand, but also the confidence in the people of Jamaica.
Adam Stewart, Executive Chairman of Sandals Resorts International. And the President of the Jamaica Hotel and the Tourist Association, Christopher Jarrett, says things are getting back to normal at most tourist attractions in the worst affected parishes.
Most of us are ready. We've been doing as best we can. I think we're ahead of pace with respect to the recovery. The Duns River Falls was opened last week. We had tourists coming off the ships and visiting there. We also had a port call in Montego Bay today, and we had visitors off the ships and at Doctor's Cave Beach and milling around. And the response thus far has been positive. We think that the people are satisfied at the very least with what they're seeing. They seem not to be seeing the negative that has been in the press. So that's a good thing.
Chris Jarrett, President of the Jamaica Hotel and the Tourist Association, he was speaking on Nationwide at 5 on Monday. Royalton Hotels and Resorts says it will reopen all its Jamaican properties for business by September 2026. In a statement on Monday, the hotel chain outlined that Royalton Negril, Royalton Hideaway Negril, and the Grand Leader Negril all in Westmoreland, are set to reopen on August 25, 2026. Additionally, Royalton Blue Waters and Royalton Hideaway Blue Waters in Montego Bay are set to reopen on September 15, 2026. The management says it's keen to protect the well-being of staff while ensuring that work conditions are stable and fully prepared for normal operations. Royalton says guests with existing reservations will be provided with options which include penalty-free cancellations, rebooking or relocation to another resort within the Royalton portfolio. Additionally, Royalton says its over 200 employees will remain on the properties to oversee recovery efforts. Managers and key team members will be deployed to take up assignments at other Royalton resorts in the Caribbean. Royalton says this will help in providing continuous employment, hands-on development, and elevated training opportunities. Hurricane Melissa has upended the lives of thousands of people living with disabilities. The Jamaica Council for Persons with Disabilities, JCPD, says Melissa flattened homes, destroyed special needs institutions, wiped out livelihoods, and killed one person living with disabilities. Executive Director of the JCPD, Dr. Christine Hendricks, highlighted the extent of the damage on the Jamaicans for Justice produced show Let's Talk Justice, aired on Nationwide 90 FM on Monday. Shalois Michael reports.
Approximately 15,675 persons with disabilities have been impacted by Hurricane Melissa. Dr. Hendricks says the preliminary figure is registered across Westmoreland, St. Elizabeth, Hanover, St. James, St. Anne, Trelawney, Manchester, and Clarendon. She says the destruction from the weather event spans personal, institutional, and business.
Persons would have lost entire crops. For those who were farmers, animals, they would have lost roofs, some would have lost houses. I understand that we had someone who had a disability who lost her life. We also have schools of special education that were totally destroyed. School for the deaf, schools for persons with intellectual disabilities, those who were being facilitated in boarding situations, some of those boarding facilities would have been extensively damaged.
Hurricane Melissa made landfall in Jamaica nearly a month ago. Since then, the JCPD has been on the ground providing relief supplies as it helps to rebuild the disabled community. It has also been rallying other organizations to ensure inclusivity for persons with disabilities. Dr. Hendricks says this includes children with special needs.
Through UNICEF, we will also be targeting 1,500 children for relief support initially, and then we are also looking at a medium-term facility of providing digital vouchers to families that has children with disabilities.
Dr. Hendricks says efforts are also underway to locate persons with disabilities who were impacted by the hurricane but are not registered with the JCPD.
What we have found is in the areas that we have been going, we have met maybe hundreds of persons who have never heard about the JCPD. We have been encouraging them to register via our I Am Able My JCPD app that they can download. It is pretty easy and accessible in its use right across the disability groups. We're also on the move of doing a people find. If they recognize a person with a disability in the area that they are providing the relief, send us a message, 876-447-0444.
Shalois Michael for Nationwide News.
Member of Parliament for Western Westmoreland, the PNP's Ian Hales, says his spirits are high following a meeting with CEO of the Jamaica Public Service Company, Hugh Grant, on Sunday. JPS has restored power to sections of Negril in Westmoreland.
I commend them for the work that I see the JPSCO is doing as we speak. Their linemen is out and they're trying to do their best. I see them late night working, and I just want to commend the JPS staff for the work that they've been doing because we need each of them. Outside of that though, we had a conversation because the beach road received electricity. There's electricity now on the beach road in Negril, and I commended him for that.
Western Westmoreland was one of the constituencies devastated by Hurricane Melissa on October 28. Hales says JPS has assured him the aim is to restore power to most areas in his constituency by Christmas.
Hurricane Melissa has devastated Westmoreland
I ask about every other area in terms of when they're going to get electricity. The JPS is on a drive to bring in more linesmen over the next couple of weeks to ensure that you can get the electricity much faster. So one down, several more communities to go. I had the commitment from the president that they're doing everything possible to ensure that Western Westmoreland gets electricity. I know we're 5 weeks away from Christmas. I asked the question, how will December 20th look? And he has assured me that we will look better. And I believe what they have said to me because the work and the effort is there to show.
Meanwhile, Ian Hales is calling for greater collaboration with the government as Western Westmoreland rebuilds after Hurricane Melissa.
I just want to say to the government, it is 5 weeks before Christmas. Let's try our best to work with all members of parliament on behalf of the Jamaican people to ensure that we can put back every single Jamaican as possible, to ensure that they have a roof or they can go back into their home for Christmas. The delay in this assessment is taking too long, and I'm questioning also the areas that the assessments are being done as we speak, because the areas that are seriously damaged have not yet been assessed.
Ian Hales, Member of Parliament for Western Westmoreland. The Jamaica Urban Transit Company, JUTC, has introduced another new route. This is the 513 from Maypen in Clarendon to downtown Kingston through the East-West Highway. The route will come into effect on Wednesday, November 26. The fare for adults will be $350, but adults with a JUTC Smart Fare card will pay $300. Seniors, children, students, and the disabled will enjoy a concession fare of $200 with the Smart Fare card. An iconic performer and activist, that's so author of Jimmy Cliff, an unauthorized biography, David Katz, has described the reggae legend.
Jimmy was just such an iconic performer. When you think about his songwriting skills, he was just exceptional in that way. He could sing about everyday issues that were very personal and real for him, but he made them personal and real for everybody else. There was that universal quality in his music. He never shied away from making his feelings known about injustice in the world. Then you had the voice as well that was just, once you heard it, you would never forget it. So in putting this book together, it was really trying to express as much as possible what made him so exceptional and outstanding.
Jimmy Cliff, who was born James Chambers, died on Monday. Cliff's wife, Latifah Chambers, announced his death via a statement on Instagram. There's been debate about Jimmy Cliff's age. He told Nationwide News in a 2010 interview conducted by Naomi Francis that he was born in July 1948, not 1944, as several internet sources have on their record. A star since the 1960s, Jimmy Cliff helped to bring the sound of Jamaica to a global audience through hits such as Wonderful World, Beautiful People, and You Can Get It If You Really Want. His lead role as a gun-toting rebel in the 1972 crime drama The Harder They Come is a cornerstone of Jamaican cinema. It was credited as the movie that brought reggae to the United States. Independent film producer Justine Hensel described Jimmy Cliff as a lyricist without equal.
I think one of the brilliant things about Jimmy as a lyricist was the fact that he could write a song that would help anybody to use anybody. But he could also write songs about apartheid, of the Vietnam War. And in both situations, he was entirely complete. His range as an actor, as a lyricist, as a performer was so extensive.
Justine Hensel, independent film producer. Both herself and the Cats were speaking on Nationwide at 5 on Monday. The Kingston East Police say swift action led to the arrest and the charge of a man following the murder of a woman in Vineyard Town, St. Andrew on Sunday. The accused is 20-year-old Kevin Williams of 2nd Avenue in the same community. The deceased has been identified as 58-year-old Rosemary Samuels. Reports are that sometime after 9 p.m. on Sunday, Williams and the Samuels, who reside at these same premises, had a dispute over money. It's alleged that Williams left and returned with an axe which he used to chop Samuels multiple times. The police were alerted and they found Samuels lying on a bed in a pool of blood. She was taken to hospital where she was pronounced dead. Williams was arrested less than 24 hours after the incident. He was charged with murder on Monday.
It's This Morning on Nationwide 90 FM. The time is
6:19. For all your electrical needs, visit ABC Electrical Sales. They stock a wide variety of electrical supplies including plugs, switches, panel boards and conduits, plus energy-saving fixtures. ABC Electrical Sales stocks brands like GE, Siemens, Philips, Cutler Hammer, and Allen Bradley. They also offer free island-wide delivery just to suit your needs. Visit them at Shop 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10, or call 876-754-3714-5 or 876-754-3825-8. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business. Time now for regional news. Trinidad and Tobago has suspended flights to Venezuela following a warning by the United States about a potentially hazardous situation due to heightened military activity around the South American country. Caribbean Airlines grounded its flights to Venezuela on Saturday. 5 other international airlines, Spain's Iberia, Portugal's TAP, Chile's LATAM, Colombia's Avianca, and Brazil's GOL have all taken similar action. The suspensions come as tensions between the U.S. and Venezuela soar, with Washington deploying troops as well as the world's largest aircraft carrier to the Caribbean as part of what it calls an anti-narcotics operation. Caracas, however, describes the operation as a bid to force Venezuelan President Nicolás Maduro out of power. The U.S. military has also carried out at least 21 attacks on alleged drug boats in the Caribbean and the Pacific, killing at least 83 people. Further afield, there's a flurry of diplomatic moves over the Russia-Ukraine war on Tuesday, with U.S. officials meeting Russian representatives in Abu Dhabi, and the UK's Prime Minister, Keir Starmer, set to host a virtual meeting with Ukraine's allies. Ukraine's security chief says Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky could also meet with U.S. President Donald Trump in the next few days. The meetings follow days of intense talks over a U.S.-backed plan for ending the war, a plan that initially drew criticism from Kyiv and European leaders. They also follow a night of military action which has left 6 people dead in Russian strikes on Kyiv. Officials in Russia say 3 people have been killed by Ukrainian strikes.
Since 1995, we've been your go-to source for everything related to billiards, amusement machines, and electronics. With locations at 1A Lindsay Terrace, Kingston 10, and the Village Plaza, Big Bridge, Savannah, Lamar, we offer top-quality pool table parts and accessories, cutting-edge gaming machines, and more. We also specialize in assembly, sales, and service of amusement machines. We provide unmatched customer service, expert solutions, and products tailored to your needs. Who are we? We are Eclipse Enterprise. Telephone 876-960-3891. Run for rights, give for relief. Join Jamaicans for Justice at the Run for Rights 5K Run Walk, November 30, 6 a.m. sharp at the Police Officers Club, Kingston. Choose your cause: human rights, child rights, climate justice, or ending gender-based violence. Only $2,500 to enter. Medals, trophies, and more. Register now at my.raceresult.com/355144. Part proceeds in aid of hurricane relief. You can bring your essential items on race day. Every donation counts. Call 876-239-7583 for details.
Time now for sports. Head coach of the Reggae Girls, Hubert Busby, believes it is of paramount importance the country lays down the gauntlet against Dominica in their opening FIFA World Cup qualifier on Saturday at Darren Sammy Stadium in St. Lucia.
Yeah, I believe, we are prepared and eager to get going. We had a really good camp about a month ago now in Trinidad through some, very testing times with all that was going on. But the players' focus and the staff and the support around the team was very well. And we had a very good camp. And I thought they did very well considering. But yeah, overall, we're looking forward to this match that's coming in. And as the players, obviously, we're in St. Lucia now, and we're looking forward to this game on Saturday.
Drawn in Group B, the Reggae Girls will play Nicaragua on March 2, 2026. They'll then play 2 home games on April 10 against Antigua and Barbuda, and again on the 18th against Guyana. According to Busby, the players selected are in form and have been regular starters for their various clubs and colleges.
So we wanted to make sure in a short period of time that we had players who were playing for the most part regularly, or they're in professional or college environments where they're still in season. And so that was a big part of it. And yeah, I mean, like I said, a couple of them will be starting to come in because they played last night. But by the end of this evening and some of the afternoon, we'll have most of the squad here, bar 1 or 2 with connecting flights. And we'll be able to hit the ground running with our first training session tomorrow.
Hubert Busby, Reggae Girls coach. Defending champion St. Peter and Paul remain unbeaten following their 7-0 triumph over Stella Maris in the GISA Canopy Prep Schools football competition on Monday. Meanwhile, St. Andrew Prep stopped Praise Tab Christian 11-0, Christel House Jamaica beat Porter Center 12-0, Richmond Park blanked Meadowbrook 9-0, and Emmanuel Christian Academy beat Morris Nib 8-0. Other winners included Portmore Missionary, Vaz Prep, Our Lady of the Angels, and Mona Prep. UEFA Champions League resumes on Tuesday with a heavyweight showdown at Stamford Bridge. World Club champions Chelsea welcome Spanish giants Barcelona starting at 3 p.m. Jamaica time. Both teams are on 7 points each and will be looking for their 3rd victory this season to move closer to the leaders. In other key matchups, Man City host Bayer Leverkusen, Villarreal are away to Borussia Dortmund, and Ajax host Benfica. With cricket set to make its debut at the Lima 2027 Pan American Games and return to the Olympics at Los Angeles 2028 after more than a century, the Jamaica Olympic Association, JOA, has taken a major step towards preparing athletes for the global spotlight. The JOA has partnered with organizers of the South American Bolivarian Games to field Jamaica's male and female cricket teams in the exhibition tournament later this month and into early December. Oreen Buchanan tells us more.
The move marks the first time Jamaica will participate in the cricket segment of the historic regional event. JOA President Christopher Samuda welcomed the groundbreaking initiative, noting that it stemmed from the association's strong relationship with Peru's National Olympic Committee. The Bolivarian Games are a celebrated multi-sport competition honoring the legacy of Simon Bolivar. The major participation nations include Venezuela, Colombia, Ecuador, Peru, Panama, and Bolivia. Samuda underscored the symbolism of Jamaica's involvement in a tournament steeped in regional history. As Jamaica pushes towards qualification for both the Pan Am and Olympic Games, JOA Secretary General and CEO Ryan Foster said the association is already accelerating preparations. The Jamaican delegation is scheduled to depart the island for Lima in the coming days. They will join teams from Barbados, Trinidad and Tobago, and Anguilla in what is expected to be a landmark exhibition for Caribbean cricket on South American soil. Oreen Buchanan, reporting for Nationwide Sports.
Thank you, Oreen.
Are you ready to turn your sales and marketing skills into high earnings? Nationwide 90FM is searching for business development executives to help us grow our business and build lasting client relationships. If you have experience across all stages of the sales cycle and possess strong communication, negotiation, and time management skills with a proven sales track record, this opportunity is perfect for you. Join our team and work with the top corporate brands, media agencies, and of course, our on-air personalities. Enjoy networking opportunities, professional growth, and competitive commissions. Ready to take the next step? Send your resume to hr@nationwidenewsnetwork.com today.
Time now for business news. European and Asian shares mostly gained on Tuesday after U.S. stocks rallied on hopes the Federal Reserve will cut interest rates soon. The futures for the S&P 500 and the Dow Jones Industrial Average slipped 0.1%. Germany's DAX edged 0.1% lower, and the CAC 40 in Paris added a similar percentage. Britain's FTSE 100 likewise gained 0.1%. In Asian trading, Tokyo's Nikkei 225 picked up 0.1% as a plunging technology giant SoftBank's shares weighed on the market. It fell 10.3% on concerns that returns from its heavy investments in OpenAI may be threatened by the next-generation Gemini artificial intelligence model that Google launched last week. In South Korea, the Kospi gained 0.3%, while Taiwan's TAIEX jumped by 1.5%. Chinese markets also advanced. Meta Platforms is in talks with Google to spend billions of dollars on the Alphabet-owned company's chips for use in its data center starting from 2027. The move that would cast Google as a serious rival to semiconductor giant Nvidia is looming large. The talks also involve Meta renting chips from Google Cloud as early as next year and are part of Google's broader push to get customers to adopt its Tensor processing units in their own data centers. According to Tech News publisher information, the move would mark a departure from Google's current strategy of using TPUs only in its own data centers. It could sharply expand the market for its chips, putting the company in direct competition for the hundreds of billions being spent on data center processors to power AI services. Some Google Cloud executives have suggested the strategy could help it capture as much as 10% of Nvidia's annual revenue, a slice worth billions of dollars. In foreign exchange trading this morning, the Jamaican dollar will open against the benchmark U.S. currency, selling for an average $161.05. Against the Canadian, the Jamaican dollar opened trading at an average of $115.49. And the Jamaican will begin selling for an average $212.84 against the British pound sterling. That's it for business this morning.
It's This Morning on Nationwide 90 FM. The time is
6:31.
Tell me where you get the money transfer. Alliance. Where you get the money transfer. Alliance. Where you get the money transfer. Money move like a bird, like a plane, it's a blur. Money quick, money fast, money reach in a flash. This your agent no run out of cash. Pay the rent, pay the bills or buy the grocery. Make a call for the cash and pay the school fee.
Money when and where you need it. Alliance MoneyGram and Ria Money Transfer. Convenient locations island-wide. A member of Sagicor Group Jamaica.
Tell me where you get the money transfer. Alliance.
joy and happiness to a soul who knows no tenderness. They may say you're no good to me, but the blind will never, never see. Oh, deep in my heart, I shall sing as long as I live, and as long as I live, I shall sing, and I shall sing as long as I live, and as long as I live, I shall sing. Even though I'm old, but I'm young, a little weak, but I know I am strong, old enough to know what's
Good morning. 6:36 on this morning, the day after we lost the reggae icon Jimmy Cliff. Incidentally, yesterday was also the day when the songstress Marcia Griffiths celebrated her birthday. Thank you to Annie Smith for always keeping us plugged into the entertainers celebrating their birthdays. So a day for, well, celebration all around, because we aren't mourning Jimmy Cliff. We are celebrating him for what he has given to this nation and to burnish our reputation abroad. This is a new day. It's Tuesday, November 25, 2025. I remain George Davis.
And I, as ever, Siobhan Campbell.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Sir Davis. How are you?
I am very good. You?
I'm doing quite well. It's now what? Nearly a month. Almost just 3 days away from a month away from Hurricane Melissa. I suppose we can now reflect a little bit. We've had enough distance from the trauma, so to speak. So I wanted to start this morning with a little trip back into memory lane, so to speak. And I want to say, listeners, I'm going to start off with a clip from our former Finance Minister, Dr. Nigel Clark. And I want to keep in your reference in your mind that this is before Hurricane Melissa, before Hurricane Beryl. This was late 2023 when he did an interview with the Fix. Have a listen.
Big bosses from the IMF coming down for the announcement, and a little storm began to develop in the Eastern Caribbean. I forget the name of it. Was it Matthew? I'm not sure. I can't remember. This is 2016. And this is Jamaica here. And everybody's tracking the storm, the hurricane, and it's doing this. And it is the closest direct hit that Jamaica has had in 30 years. Closest to a direct hit. And we were all convinced that this hurricane was going to hit Jamaica directly. Right? As a result, people from the fund, they packed up, headquarters called them back, left Jamaica. The big announcement was not going to happen. And in that moment, I was not Minister of Finance then. I was Ambassador of Economic Affairs. And I was responsible for the relationship with the multilaterals, and I negotiated this program, this $1.6 billion program, right? And then it became abundantly clear to me, my God, if this thing had hit, we started to calculate that what we were negotiating couldn't help us. Yeah? And it became abundantly, and it just calculating what the reversal would have been, all the progress made by the previous administration would have gone out the window. And it became very clear to me. And I said, look, if I get the chance, I will never leave Jamaica exposed to the effect of natural disaster again, in terms of fiscal exposure.
That was Dr. Nigel Clark explaining the nexus of the current set of disaster risk contingencies. Jamaica is currently utilizing those to ease some of the pressure of the Hurricane Melissa fallout. Dr. Clark and the current administration has recently received significant kudos for orchestrating these suite of measures totaling some $657 million US, which will aid in keeping Jamaica on top of the significant post-Melissa needs. Now, looking back, Hurricane Matthew, as Dr. Clark described, was more or less a crisis avoided as the storm moved away from the country at the final hour. So while most of Jamaica brushed it aside as the threat it represented, leave it to the country's future finance minister to take notes and lessons of its near disaster to heart. There's a saying, listeners, never let a good crisis go to waste. In political parlance, it means using a moment of significant tragedy to fuel change, and we in Jamaica are no stranger to this sentiment. The 2008 financial crisis brought home the necessity of fiscal responsibility. It's a mantra that has dramatically changed how Jamaicans and the political directorate discuss matters of economic and monetary policy. But too often, some Jamaicans are too slow to learn. Because, you see, fiscal prudence isn't about holding down the fort only when times are tough. It's about remembering that there are always tough times ahead. You can't plan around a crisis, listeners, viewers, but you can always bank on one and prepare for it. We lurched from 2008 to 2011 financial crises, to the 2019 COVID-19 crisis, to Beryl in mid-2024, followed by Raphael in late 2024, and now Melissa in 2025. And I let Dr. Nigel Clark hammer the message home again.
Under this government, we have had choice. We graduated from an IMF program in 2019. We went through COVID on our own steam with homegrown policies, homegrown ideas. We displayed fiscal responsibility before the crisis, during the crisis, after the crisis, leading Jamaica to one of the fastest, most complete recoveries in the Western Hemisphere. We piloted Jamaica through the worst economic storms in our history, Madam Speaker, on our own. That is fiscal responsibility.
That's Dr. Nigel Clark speaking on the budget debate. I believe that was back in 2024. Now, the country's fiscal rules have been suspended, allowing us to break from plans to reach and maintain the 60% debt to GDP target programmed in years ago. It's only the second time since the rules were set down that they've had to be adjusted. And interestingly enough, both times have been under the current administration. Many forget that during the COVID-19 pandemic, the government under Dr. Andrew Holness adjusted the fiscal rules, allowing it to forestall the need to reach that 60% debt to GDP target and put it back to 2029, giving it fiscal headroom to address the immediate needs of the day. In fact, the then opposition spokesman on finance, that's Mark Golding, the current PNP leader, objected to this suspension, fearing what he called a slippery slope. So incensed was he that he wrote a column in the Gleaner stating, and I quote, "The opposition therefore considers that this legislative amendment has introduced an undesirable pathway for the executive usurpation of the fiscal rules." He ended that column saying, "Time alone will tell whether the government's approach to this matter will come back to haunt Jamaica." Now, Jamaicans should be reminded that the country's fiscal rules are not entrenched legislation. They can be amended by the government with a simple majority in both houses. Now, fast forward to 2023, and Jamaica began emerging from the grip of the pandemic, and it was not the government that blinked when it came to the fiscal rules and returning to them.
I would support additional expenditures of up to 2% of GDP to address the critical needs facing the society. That's about $40 billion. It is time to focus on helping our people. It is not the time for excessive fiscal conservatism.
So that was Mark Golding speaking in the House of Representatives in a past budget debate. Now, despite the calls, the government maintained its fiscal conservative approach, so much so that the country was on track to hit the 60% target well ahead of the 28-29 date. However, this call for moving away from strict fiscal targets has been repeated by the opposition and others many times, including up to the 2025 elections. In fact, every time a crisis is in the rearview mirror, there are calls for easing up and spending more. I remind you the intention of the opposition was to tap the fiscal space created by the reduction in debt to GDP, coupled with what they called natural growth in revenues to fund their election promises. The question now forms, with hindsight being 2020, what fiscal space and what revenues? Where would the nation be at this time of a disaster again if the government at any point on this journey caved to pressure to spend more than what was absolutely necessary to navigate hard times? I don't say all this to embarrass the opposition or any Jamaican. I recognize that life on our little island isn't exactly easy, and wanting more help from the government is only natural. I say this as a reminder to Jamaicans and the government: don't make a good crisis go to waste. Let this be the final nail in the coffin of grandiose calls for more expenditure on the basis of political convenience. Let this be the reminder during any electioneering, any budget debate presentation, of the dangers of easing up. I leave you again with the words of Dr. Nigel Clarke as he departed Jamaica for the IMF. Let it stand as his legacy and a future warning.
There is no breathing space. It is crisis on top of crisis that you have to be able to navigate, which is why I've put such an emphasis on resilience. That if it's one thing that has characterized my tenure as Minister of Finance and the Public Service, it has been to emphasize the preeminent need for resilience for the Jamaican state to be prosperous and to succeed. Resilience economically, making sure we have low debt, high reserves in our central bank, and the framework to sustain low and stable inflation. And economic and resilience to natural disaster and other forms of resilience.
So there you have it, listeners. That's what's on my mind. Let it be called that Dr. Clarke was almost Nostradamus-like in many of his comments over the years. Let it be reminded to the country where we stand now today, thanks to foresight and understanding that in some would seem almost common sense, but I think oftentimes we need to be reminded of them. So let's not make a good crisis go to waste this time.
It's This Morning on Nationwide 90 FM. The time is...
It's 6:46.
JPS and Partners Cooperative Credit Union offers financial solutions for every stage in your life. Savings, auto loans, mortgages, and more. The temperature by JPS and Partners Cooperative Credit Union, your financial partner for life, is...
It's 25 degrees Celsius here in the capital city, Kingston, 26 out west in Montego Bay, and 20 in Mandeville.
This is a public service announcement from JPS. JPS is urging customers not to pay anyone to have their electricity service reconnected. Customers are reminded that unauthorized reconnections can be extremely dangerous and can result in serious injury, electrocution, or damage to property. This practice is unethical, illegal, and could delay restoration efforts. If anyone claiming to represent JPS requests payment for reconnection services, report it immediately to the nearest police station or JPS. JPS thanks all customers for their patience as teams continue working to restore power safely and as quickly as possible. That was a public service announcement from JPS.
Are you ready to turn your sales and marketing skills into high earnings? Nationwide 90 FM is searching for business development executives to help us grow our business and build lasting client relationships. If you have experience across all stages of the sales cycle and possess strong communication, negotiation, and time management skills with a proven sales track record, this opportunity is perfect for you. Join our team and work with the top corporate brands, media agencies, and of course, our on-air personalities. Enjoy networking opportunities, professional growth, and competitive commissions. Ready to take the next step? Send your resume to hr@nationwidenewsnetwork.com today.
You hear that, listeners? It is now time for Street Smart and your first morning traffic bulletin from Ludlow McLean. Good morning, Ludlow.
Morning, Siobhan. Morning to George and the listeners and the motoring public. Well, I really enjoyed that clip, Siobhan. So maybe you could play it a few times.
Happy to hear it.
Yes, I enjoyed it. The situation, though, yesterday it's slightly different this morning in that yesterday, as early as minutes after 5, the road was so busy with traffic as you make your way into the various spaces. Now, this morning, I would say it is a little bit different. A lot of traffic on the road, but it's moving a little bit better, and also depending where you are. If you're heading towards the 3 miles area along Olympic Way, it's free flowing along, in that vicinity of Olympic Way. And if you're along Seaward Drive and heading down there, no problems. If you're on Bay Farm at this time, it's pretty good going in both directions, especially heading out towards the Park Road. And if you're on Malines Road, there is a little gap there, but the traffic is moving. It's not a standstill like yesterday morning. But at this time, it's moving all the way towards the Half a Tree area where there is a build-up there. And let me just remind you also that the intersections heading there is also busy. Tarrant Drive and also the intersection of Mullines and Waltham and also Castle Park. There's also a number of vehicles coming through Castle Park Road from Reddy's Road heading onto, that between Waltham Park Road and some of them heading onto Mullines Road. So that intersection is quite busy at this time. And Half a Tree Square is already busy. All lanes into Half a Tree from Constance Spring Road quite active at this time. It's our first report for the morning, and I should say it's sunny at the moment. Let's see what happens at 7:20. It's back to you, Siobhan.
Thank you for that, Ludlow. Your word of the day is next, listeners.
The word of the day is spelled HOMOLOGOUS. HOMOLOGOUS.
Homologous. Homologous. Homologous.
Homologous, first used between 1650 and 1660. It's an adjective meaning having the same or a similar relation, corresponding as in relative position or structure. Another meaning, corresponding in structure and in origin, but not necessarily in function. Yeah, can I find a sentence here? Okay. Typically, most animal and plant species exhibit a minimum of 1 and a maximum of 3 crossovers per a pair of homologous chromosomes. Typically, most animal and plant species exhibit a minimum of 1 and a maximum of 3 crossovers per pair of homologous chromosomes. Homologous, an adjective. HOMOLOGUS. Homologous is your word of the day. Siobhan, the viewers have spoken, the listeners have spoken, and they really enjoyed your contribution just now. What's on my mind? Talking about the foresight of the former finance minister and the administration, and resisting the urge to loosen the purse strings at a time when they were confident that we could see our way through with what was programmed to spend and in the way that the spending was programmed. And your fans are loving that this morning.
Yes, I think it bears repeating and understanding that every time we move away from a crisis, I think the statement is hard times make hard men make soft times make soft men, which lead to hard times, and it repeats ad nauseum. And I think we have an opportunity now to break that cycle. And I hope we do learn from that lesson.
Very well. Jermaine, time for features now? There is... Yeah, all right. So there's something I need to mention to the listeners and the viewers concerning Jimmy Cliff, an important fact I found last night while reading a piece from Rolling Stone, but I'll share that later.
Last time on Food for Thought, we introduced you to the low FODMAP diet. FODMAP stands for fermentable oligosaccharides, disaccharides, monosaccharides, and polyols, which are short-chain carbohydrates, sugars that the small intestine absorbs poorly. Some people experience digestive distress after eating them. Symptoms include cramping, diarrhea, constipation, stomach bloating, gas, and flatulence. You will recall that low FODMAP is a 3-step elimination diet. First, you stop eating certain foods, high FODMAP foods. Next, you slowly reintroduce them to see which ones are troublesome. And once you identify the foods that cause symptoms, you can avoid or limit them while enjoying everything else worry-free. Today we are looking at low FODMAP foods you should include in your diet if you have irritable bowel syndrome. It can be overwhelming to eliminate all high FODMAP foods in one step. But remember, this step is short-term. And there are plenty of low FODMAP foods you can enjoy now to get you ready for steps 2 and 3. Fruits. Some fruits contain high amounts of sorbitol and fructose. which are monosaccharides and polyols, the M and the P in FODMAP. Pick up these fruits for low FODMAP alternatives: cantaloupe, grapes, kiwi, oranges, pineapple, and strawberries. Low FODMAP vegetables. Some vegetables contain oligosaccharides or polyols, which can irritate a sensitive gut. Pack your kitchen with these easier-to-digest veggies: bell peppers, pak choy, carrots, cucumbers, eggplant, green beans, lettuce, potatoes, tomatoes, and zucchini. Low FODMAP dairy alternatives. Many dairy products contain lactose, which is a disaccharide. Try these options instead: almond milk, lactose-free milk, oat milk, and soy milk, made from soy protein, not whole soybeans. Cheeses, brie, and camembert. Low FODMAP protein options. Meat marinades and sauces may contain various FODMAPs. Legumes, beans, and pulses are also high in oligosaccharides. Power up with these low FODMAP proteins instead: eggs, firm tofu, plain cooked meats, poultry, and seafood. Use herbs for flavor, but avoid garlic and onion and tempeh. Low FODMAP bread and grains. Many common breads and grains contain oligosaccharides, but you can avoid them if you choose breads that don't contain wheat, barley, or rye. Corn, oats, quinoa, rice, and sourdough spelt bread. Low FODMAP sweeteners. Steer clear of artificial sweeteners commonly found in sugarless gum, mints, and products labeled sugar-free. Satisfy your sweet tooth in moderation with these low FODMAP options: dark chocolate without high fructose corn syrup, maple syrup, rice malt syrup, and table sugar. The low FODMAP diet is part of the therapy for those with IBS and SIBO. Research has found that it reduces symptoms in up to 86% of people. Because the diet can be challenging during the first, most restrictive phase, it's important to work with a doctor or dietitian who can ensure you're following the diet correctly, which is crucial to success and maintaining proper nutrition. That's it for Food for Thought. Until next time.
Fearless and fair. Nationwide 90 FM.
Restaurant etiquette says that you and or your escort, or if you're dining alone, do not barge through the door and find yourself a seat at a table. This is Lifestyle Pages on Waiting to be Seated. Etiquette requires you to wait at the entrance of the dining room until the head waiter or waitress or hostess is ready to seat you. You then follow the head waiter, who will pull out the chair intended for you, or in the case of a hostess, who will indicate the chair or seat for you. If you are dining with someone, in the case of a man, it is still necessary that you sit on his right. But for the most part, it is up to you to see that you do so. When there are a number of persons in the group, the women take the preferred seats against the wall, and the men sit opposite them. In these current times, a leader may emerge, and he or she takes the responsibility to seat all members of the group. I'm Valerie, and those were Lifestyle Pages.
News on the go. The latest stories from Jamaica and around the world are literally a finger tap away. Keep up to date with Teen Revolution 24 hours a day online via nationwideradiojm.com. Listen live, read the latest stories, hear every soundbite. Be a part of the vibrant online debate via Facebook and Twitter. Now you can get all your favorite premium Nationwide content at your convenience. Visit the Android Play Store and download it for free today. Nationwide RadioJM.com. All day, every day. Team Revolution.
Nationwide 90 FM, continuing the tradition of fair, fearless, and factual reporting.
Jamaica, let's make road safety a priority. Slow down, stay focused. Remember, every life matters. The time brought to you by the JIS is...
News time, 7 o'clock.
If you need to build it, plumb it, weld it, pave it, or power it, National Supply has it. Get the best brands for the job at Jamaica's Industrial Hardware Superstore, Kingston Normal Bay. The temperature by National Supply is
25 degrees Celsius in Kingston, 26 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay, 20 degrees Celsius in Mandeville.
The most credible news in the morning. The news at 7 on Nationwide 90 FM.
Coming up in the news at 7 today, Tuesday, November 25, 2025, BOJ holds interest rates steady amid response to Hurricane Melissa. Tourism industry players want government to provide a stimulus package. Royalton to reopen all its Jamaican properties by September next year. And in international news, U.S. and Russian officials to meet in Abu Dhabi for Ukraine peace talks after deadly overnight attacks.
If it's news, it's got to be Nationwide 90 FM.
Now to the details. The Bank of Jamaica is holding its interest rate steady at 5.75% amid what's expected to be a weak macroeconomic environment in the wake of Hurricane Melissa. The decision came out of the most recent meeting of the BOJ's Monetary Policy Committee. Siobhan Campbell tells us more.
According to the BOJ, the country's key macroeconomic indicators are expected to deteriorate in the short term due to severe infrastructure damage and disruptions to production and livelihoods caused by Hurricane Melissa. The economy is projected to contract sharply, while inflation is set to rise above the BOJ's 4 to 6% target range. Inflation currently sits at 2.9%. The spike in inflation will primarily stem from damage to major food-producing parishes and subsequent price increases across transport, household maintenance, energy, and personal care items. The BOJ's Monetary Policy Committee notes that the government's temporary suspension of the fiscal rules to facilitate recovery spending will add to domestic demand pressures. According to the committee, this represents an additional inflation risk. The committee further highlighted that the overall risks to inflation remain skewed to the upside. These include stronger than expected reconstruction demand, elevated inflation expectations, and potential long-term supply constraints in industries heavily affected by the hurricane. At the same time, the BOJ is cautioning that a slower recovery in incomes could dampen demand and reduce inflation pressures. In its assessment, the committee stressed that without decisive policy action, inflation could remain elevated for an extended period. As such, the BOJ has moved to support stability in the foreign exchange market. It's anticipating a surge in imports needed for national rehabilitation. Since the hurricane's passage, the central bank has already sold $210 million to the FX market. In the coming weeks, it will also supply foreign currency directly to select energy sector entities and reintroduce scheduled advance notices of intervention sales. In the coming weeks, it will also supply foreign currency directly to select energy sector entities and reintroduce scheduled advance notices of intervention sales. The bank signaled readiness to deploy additional measures if required to maintain orderly FX conditions. The Monetary Policy Committee believes that maintaining the policy rate alongside the targeted foreign exchange interventions will support the return of inflation to the target range by early 2027. Siobhan Campbell for Nationwide News.
At least two players in the local tourism industry are calling on the government to provide a stimulus package to stakeholders as a means of cushioning the impact of Hurricane Melissa. Several hotels in Western Jamaica are attempting to recover from significant infrastructure damage caused by the Category 5 system. General Manager of Deja Resort in Montego Bay, St. James, Robin Russell, says a stimulus package would be good for all.
Definitely. There are going to be a lot of people out of work, not only tourism workers, but farmers and the people that supply tourism. And that's why we have to get up. And one thing I want to say is, I don't think tourism wants to be pitied. So we need a stimulus to get us through this, but we're resilient, we're going to fight through it, and we're not just looking for pity, we're looking for support. We're looking for guests to visit Jamaica because we're still one of the best islands, if not the best island in the Caribbean. You're going to have a great time in Jamaica.
Robin Russell, General Manager of Deja Resort in Montego Bay. In 2020, the government crafted a $25 billion stimulus package for the tourism industry in response to the COVID-19 pandemic. Executive Chairman of Sandals Resorts International, Adam Stewart, says those worst affected by Hurricane Melissa need a helping hand.
I think Jamaica has been affected in different parts. You know, I toured the country myself, like many have. Ocho Rios, it got hit, but it didn't get nearly as badly hit as the South Coast. You know, the people of Negril, parts got hit. Many of our team members live in the Southwest. You know, they have homes in St. Elizabeth and parts. And I think those who have been most affected, I would love to see a program for them. The tourism industry has committed in excess of $1 billion as a grouping to support the team members and the ecosystem of tourism, which Minister Bartlett has led.
Adam Stewart, Executive Chairman of Sandals Resorts International. Meanwhile, Stewart says the vast majority of persons who planned a visit to a Sandals hotel before Hurricane Melissa hit Jamaica have kept their booking.
There will be fall-off, of course, because of the negativity. People will delay their holidays. In a group like mine, some people have chosen to go to other islands. But the truth is, with my own company, about 75 to 80% of all travelers that were planning to come, we reopen on the 6th of December. About 75 to 80% of our Jamaica hotels, we're reopening 5 of our 8 hotels, are still planning to travel, which is higher than I would have expected. And I think it shows the trust, in my brand, but also the confidence in the people of Jamaica.
Adam Stewart, Executive Chairman of Sandals Resorts International. And the President of the Jamaica Hotel and Tourist Association, Christopher Jarrett, says things are getting back to normal at most tourist attractions in the worst affected parishes.
Most of us are ready. We've been doing as best we can. I think we're ahead of pace with respect to the recovery. The Duns River Falls was opened last week. We had tourists coming off the ships and visiting there. We also had a port call in Montego Bay today, and we had visitors off the ships and at Doctor's Cave Beach and milling around. And the response thus far has been positive. We think that the people are satisfied at the very least with what they're seeing. They seem not to be seeing the negative that has been in the press. So that's a good thing.
Christopher Jarrett, President of the Jamaica Hotel and Tourist Association, he was speaking on Nationwide at 5 on Monday. Royalton Hotels and Resorts says it will reopen all its Jamaican properties for business by September 2026. In a statement on Monday, the hotel chain outlined that Royalton Negril, Royalton Hideaway Negril, and Grand Leader Negril, all in Westmoreland, are set to reopen on August 25, 2026. Additionally, Royalton Blue Waters and Royalton Hideaway Blue Waters in Montego Bay are set to reopen on September 15, 2026. The management says it's keen to protect the well-being of staff while ensuring working conditions are stable and fully prepared for normal operations. Royalton says guests with existing reservations will be provided with options which include penalty-free cancellations, rebooking, or relocation to another resort within the Royalton portfolio. Additionally, Royalton says its over 200 employees will remain on the properties to oversee recovery efforts. Managers and the key team members will be deployed to take up assignments at other Royalton resorts in the Caribbean. Royalton says this will help in providing continuous employment, hands-on development, and elevated training opportunities. Hurricane Melissa has upended the lives of thousands of people with disabilities. The Jamaica Council for Persons with Disabilities, JCPD, says Melissa flattened homes, destroyed special needs institutions, wiped out livelihoods, and killed one person living with disabilities. Executive Director of the JCPD, Dr. Christine Hendricks, highlighted the extent of the damage on the Jamaicans for Justice produced show Let's Talk Justice, aired on Nationwide 90 FM on Monday. Shalois Michael reports.
15,675 persons with disabilities have been impacted by Hurricane Melissa. Dr. Hendricks says the preliminary figure is registered across Westmoreland, St. Elizabeth, Hanover, St. James, St. Anne, Trelawney, Manchester, and Clarendon. She says the destruction from the weather event spans personal, institutional, and business.
Persons would have lost entire crops for those who were farmers, animals. They would have lost roofs, some would have lost houses. I understand that we had someone who had a disability who lost her life. We also have schools of special education that were totally destroyed. School for the deaf, schools for persons with intellectual disabilities, those who were being facilitated in boarding situations, some of those boarding facilities would have been extensively damaged.
Hurricane Melissa made landfall in Jamaica nearly a month ago. Since then, the JCPD has been on the ground providing relief supplies as it helps to rebuild the disabled community. It has also been rallying other organizations to ensure inclusivity for persons with disabilities. Dr. Hendricks says this includes children with special needs.
Through UNICEF, we will also be targeting 1,500 children for relief support initially, and then we are also looking at a medium-term facility of providing digital vouchers to families that has children with disabilities.
Dr. Hendricks says efforts are also underway to locate persons with disabilities who were impacted by the hurricane but are not registered with the JCPD.
What we have found is in the areas that we have been going, we have met maybe hundreds of persons who have never heard about the JCPD. We have been encouraging them to register via our I Am Able My JCPD app that they can download. It is pretty easy and accessible in its use right across the disability groups. We're also on the move of doing a people find. If they recognize a person with a disability in the area that they are providing the relief, send us a message, 876-447-0444.
Shalois Michael for Nationwide News.
Member of Parliament for Western Westmoreland of the PNP's Ian Hales says his spirits are high following a meeting with CEO of the Jamaica Public Service Company, JPS, Hugh Grant, on Sunday. JPS has restored power to sections of Negril in Westmoreland.
I commend them for the work that I see the JPS is doing as we speak. Their lineman is out and they're trying to do their best. I see them late night working, and I just want to commend the JPS staff for the work that they've been doing because we need each of them. Outside of that though, we had a conversation because the beach road received electricity. There's electricity now on the beach road in Negril, and I commended him for that.
Western Westmoreland was one of the constituencies devastated by Hurricane Melissa on October 28. Hales says JPS has assured him the aim is to restore power to most areas in his constituency by Christmas.
I ask about every other area in terms of when they're going to get electricity. The JPS is on a drive to bring in more linesmen over the next couple of weeks to ensure that you can get the electricity much faster. So one down, several more communities to go. I had the commitment from the president that they're doing everything possible to ensure that Western Westmoreland gets electricity. I know we're 5 weeks away from Christmas. I asked the question, how will December 20th look? And he has assured me that we will look better. And I believe what they have said to me because the work and the effort is there to show.
Meanwhile, Ian Hales is calling for greater collaboration with the government as Western Westmoreland rebuilds after Hurricane Melissa.
I just want to say to the government, it is 5 weeks before Christmas. Let's try our best to work with all members of Parliament on behalf of the Jamaican people to ensure that we can put back every single Jamaican as possible, to ensure that they have a roof or they can go back into their home for Christmas. The delay in this assessment is taking too long, and I'm questioning also the areas that the assessments are being done as we speak, because the areas that are seriously damaged have not yet been assessed.
Ian Hales, Member of Parliament for Western Westmoreland. The Jamaica Urban Transit Company, JUTC, has introduced another new route. This is the 513 from Maypen to downtown Kingston through the East-West Highway. The route will come into effect on Wednesday, November 26. The fare for adults will be $350, but adults with a JUTC Smart Fare card will pay $300. Seniors, children, students, and the disabled will enjoy a concession fare of $200 with the Smart Fare card. An iconic performer and activist. That's how author of Jimmy Cliff, an unauthorized biography, David Katz, has described the reggae legend.
Jimmy was just such an iconic performer. When you think about his songwriting skills, he was just exceptional in that way. He could sing about everyday issues that were very personal and real for him, but he made them personal and real for everybody else. There was that universal quality in his music. He never shied away from making his feelings known about injustice in the world. Then you had the voice as well that was just, once you heard it, you would never forget it. So in putting this book together, it was really trying to express as much as possible what made him so exceptional and outstanding.
Jimmy Cliff, who was born James Chambers, died on Monday. Cliff's wife, Latifah Chambers, announced his death via a statement on Instagram. There's been debate about Jimmy Cliff's age. He told Nationwide News in a 2010 interview conducted by Naomi Francis that he was born in July 1948, not 1944, as listed by several internet sources. A star since the 1960s, Jimmy Cliff helped to bring the sound of Jamaica to a global audience through hits such as Wonderful World, Beautiful People, and You Can Get It If You Really Want. His lead role as a gun-toting rebel in the 1972 crime drama The Harder They Come is a cornerstone of Jamaican cinema. It was credited as the movie that brought reggae to the United States. Independent film producer Justine Hensel described Jimmy Cliff as a lyricist without equal.
I think one of the brilliant things about Jimmy as a lyricist was the fact that he could write a song that could help anybody to use anybody. But he could also write songs about apartheid, of the Vietnam War. And in both situations, he was entirely complete. His range as an actor, as a lyricist, as a performer was so extensive.
Justine Hensel, independent film producer. Hensel and the Cats were speaking on Nationwide at 5 on Monday. Overseas news now. There's a flurry of diplomatic moves over the Russia-Ukraine war on Tuesday, with U.S. officials meeting Russian representatives in Abu Dhabi, and UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer set to host a virtual meeting with Ukraine's allies. Ukraine's security chief says Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky could also meet with U.S. President Donald Trump in the next few days. The meetings followed days of intense talks over a U.S.-backed plan for ending the war, a plan that initially drew criticism from Kyiv and European leaders. They also follow a night of military action which left 6 people dead in Russian strikes on Kyiv. Officials in Russia say 3 people have been killed by Ukrainian strikes. That's the news.
Sign up for the JN Money Card. It's safe, convenient, and free. The time by JN Money is
7:18.
Rent or buy your hurricane supplies from Total Tools. Visit 102 Main Street, Ocho-Rios, 34 Slipe Road, Kingston 5, or Lot C6, Drax Hall, St. Anne's Bay. The temperature brought to you by Total Tools Jamaica is
26 degrees Celsius in Kingston, 26 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay, 20 degrees Celsius in Mandeville.
We in this together, hands on hearts spread wide. We know things will get better, working side by side. We in this together, rebuilding homes and lives, no matter the weather. You are not alone.
Sagicor is contributing over $200 million to Jamaica's Hurricane Melissa recovery. We're also standing by our clients. If you're a client in need of support, call 888-SAGICOR.
Time now for Street Smarts 2 with Ludlow McLean. Good morning, Ludlow.
Morning again, George, and to our listeners, our motoring public, and all our commuters traveling at this time. Remember now, it's busy, it's the peak hour, and then what's happening now, those of you who are heading towards places like Chisholm Avenue. Chisholm Avenue runs off Walton Park Road, also off Maxfield Avenue. So Chisholm Avenue from Walton Park Road, quite busy indeed as you make your way towards Walton Park, Maxfield Avenue. On the opposite side, it's not too bad. If you're making it through Richmond Park, remember Richmond Park Avenue and also Montgomery has a lot of traffic, Queens Avenue also, and most of it is trying to get onto Maxfield Avenue. Then when you get onto Maxfield Avenue, you're going to find Linders Road has traffic moving, though. It's moving, going across to Retirement Road. It's also busy as you make your way in onto Half a Tree Road, which is quite busy, coming from as far as Half a Tree Square. Now, going further down towards Studio One Boulevard, you're going to have some traffic there, but it's moving, and also Slipe End Road has traffic, but those areas are not of concern at this time. And then going further down towards North Street, in the vicinity of North Street, Lissant Road, all these areas have some traffic, but it's moving again. Then when you get onto South Camp Road, you're going to notice traffic coming all the way up towards, in both directions, by the way, towards Tom Redcom and further towards down Camp Road to South Camp Road. And then you notice traffic coming out of Miriam Road, yes, because Edison Road has some traffic, and it takes it towards Deanery Road, and then across to Miriam Road, that's in the Vineyard Town area. And going further up, you'll notice traffic from Deanery Road onto Mountain View Avenue, and most of this traffic is northbound because there's a school there except high, and most of the traffic, a lot of vehicles are making stops there. When you go further up to Outerwind, you're gonna have some traffic, and then it's moving again. But your real challenge is really in that Ligonier area. So it has been a problem for a number of weeks, months now, and that is going to be a challenge even throughout the day, in the morning, in the afternoon, and in the evening. So beware. And as usual, this is our final report for the morning at Street Smart. Your safety is our concern. George, it's over to you.
Thank you, Ludlow there with Street Smarts 2 up next, front page. Front Page is brought to you today by ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business. For all your electrical needs, visit ABC Electrical Sales. They stock a wide variety of electrical supplies, including plugs, switches, panel boards, and conduits, plus energy-saving fixtures. ABC Electrical Sales stocks brands like GE, Siemens, Philips, Cutler Hammer, and Allen Bradley. They also offer free island-wide delivery just to suit your needs. Visit them at Shop 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10, or call 876-754-3714-5 or 876-754-3825-8. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business. $7:23 on this Tuesday, November 25, 2025. For many people who get their pay monthly, it's payday, so it should be a good day right across the country for many, not all. Some people tell you that, George, Melissa, ensure that I have no payday to get for some time yet. Well, commiserations, and we urge those who are using today, and the reason I'm highlighting today being payday for some people, for many people, is that as has happened over the past few weeks, people have been using their personal resources to buy items and share with those who are going through difficulties at this time. I know people who have been buying things for people and sharing with people they don't even know. So it's not just family members alone. People are just recognizing that people are in a very tough spot now and are using the monthly, fortnightly, even weekly pay submissions from their places of employ to support others. And we encourage that spirit of togetherness. And Chevron, the topic we're for discussion this morning rests heavily on togetherness and resilience of the people, talking about the tourism industry.
That's right, George. At least two major players in Jamaica's tourism sector are urging the government to implement a stimulus package to help cushion the impact of Hurricane Melissa. Several hotels in Western Jamaica are now struggling to recover after the Category 5 system caused extensive infrastructural damage. General Manager of Deja Resorts in Montego Bay St. James, Robin Russell, says such a package would be beneficial for all stakeholders. It was in 2020 that the government introduced a $25 billion stimulus package to support the tourism industry during the COVID-19 pandemic. Executive Chairman of Saddle Resorts, Adam Stewart, is also calling for support, noting that those hardest hit by Hurricane Melissa are in urgent need of assistance. Meanwhile, Ocho Rios in St. Ann is expected to lead the sector's recovery efforts in the months ahead. Well, to have that discussion on the recovery of the tourism industry following Hurricane Melissa, we are joined by the Minister himself, Edmund Bartlett. Good morning, Minister.
Good morning, Siobhan. Good morning. Good morning, George.
Morning, Minister.
So, tell us, Minister, I know you have a date set, December 15. That's when you hope to get at least some activity on track for the tourism industry. What do you have in terms of plans to assist the sector?
Well, the sector has been in constant dialogue because we established very early a recovery task force, which is headed by myself, co-chaired by John Bile, and it has the full support of the sector itself, with membership from a cross-section of the industry, including, of course, the president of the JHTA and a number of other leading players in the industry. We have been looking at a series of asks of the government, and the government is considering those asks to enable, as smooth a recovery as is possible given the circumstances that Melissa has placed us in. And in terms of the fiscal arrangements, there have been programs to assist in terms of tax concessions in relation to certain areas of activities, and certainly in terms of the importation of the raw materials required for reconstruction. Much of that has been provided through tax concessions up to the 31st of December. The areas also that we've been looking at is how to speed up the processing of permits to do rebuilding, and also to look at a package in relation to our workers of the industry. So the government is playing its part in pretty much the same way that we worked with regards to COVID. We're looking at how we can enable the fastest and quickest recovery of the industry.
Minister, when you say December 15 is your target, and it's a date repeated by the Prime Minister, I want you to outline to the public what precisely do you mean when you say you expect the industry to be back up and running by December 15? Because people may think that all properties will be open, everything will be back to normal. But what does December 15 mean? What do you expect to happen from that day forward?
Right. So we begin on the basis, George, that 2/3 of the island was not affected in a serious way by Hurricane Melissa. And much of the tourism plans which we have along those areas, within those areas, are in a state of readiness for accepting visitors. And then we have been working with the utilities, particularly the JPS. And I want to use the opportunity to show our appreciation to the Minister Dalvaz and the JPS team for the awesome work that they have done over the last 3 weeks in bringing electricity and power back to the critical areas. Montego Bay is fully powered. Negril we expect to be fully powered in every respect before this week is ended. Ocho Rios is fully powered, and the resilient corridor and the areas where we have a significant portion of our tourism stock will be fully powered by the 10th of December. So we are expecting, based on the surveys that we've done and the responses that we've had from our hotel partners, that somewhere about 60% of our full room stock will be ready in totality for the 15th of December. And then we will continue to work with the team as we stagger the rest of the properties that were badly hit and are being repaired to come back into stream up to September or so of 2026. So we expect that we should have full 100% of all the plans that we have between then to September next year and of course early 27, as there are at least 2 plants that have been truly severely damaged and will have to be refurbished in full. One is Catalonia, the former Holiday Inn, and the other is the Bahia Principe, and those announcements have been made already. So we will, and we have been rolling out, as you noticed, resort by resort. We started with Ocho Rios last week. We will be in Negril on Friday, Montego Bay on Saturday, and already we have rolled out the cruise, and all the ports are ready. Falmouth is the last to be made operational, and that should happen by the 17th, the very latest. So we are saying that the 15th of December is the start, the traditional start of the winter season, and Jamaica will be open for our international visitors.
Hold the line for us, Minister. More after the break. This is Nationwide This Morning, Front Page.
Give up every illegal gun. Call the police at 119 or Crime Stop at 311. The time by the Ministry of National Security is...
It's 7:32.
Visit Marshall's Pharmacy, Greater Portmore, for all your prescription needs, gifts, personal care, household, and stationery items. The temperature by Marshall's Pharmacy, Greater Portmore is...
It's 26 degrees Celsius here in the capital city, Kingston. It's the same out west in Montego Bay, and it's 20 in Mandeville.
Upgrade your home or business with Cameron Industries and Joinery Limited. Explore a range of termite-resistant plywood, quartz, solid surface, and granite. Experience timeless elegance with our cedar doors, crafted from premium cedar stock, kiln-dried for durability and beauty. For quality and craftsmanship, visit us at the Trade Center Kingston 10 or Hatfield, Mandeville. Call 876-963-0628-30. Cameron Industries and Joinery Limited. Transform your space today.
Tell me where you get the money transfer. Alliance. Where you get the money transfer. Alliance. Where you get the money transfer. Money move like a bird, like a plane, it's a blur. Money quick, money fast, money reach in a flash. This your agent no run out of cash. Pay the rent, pay the bills or buy the grocery. Make a call for the cash and pay the school fee.
Money when and where you need it. Alliance MoneyGram and Ria Money Transfer. Convenient locations island-wide. A member of Sagicor Group Jamaica.
Tell me where you get the money transfer. Alliance.
Welcome back to Nationwide this morning. The Minister of Tourism, Ed Bartlett, is with us. The government and its stakeholders, collaborators are working to get things back up and running where the industry is concerned by December 15, which is the traditional start of the winter tourist season. The Minister says things are on track for things to resume fully on that day, and that's the message being sent to partners locally and overseas. Minister, before we get further, let me ask you this now. There seems to be, I don't know if it's a deliberate misunderstanding or otherwise, about the power that a government has over when a hotel, a singular property or properties in a hotel group, when there's communication from the management that there will be a shutdown to facilitate repairs, as in the case with some properties following Melissa, as if the government has power to dictate to the owners the timeline for that shutdown or precisely what ought to happen in the shutdown. And I think you are best placed to speak to what, if any, influence the government can have when shutdown for operations are communicated by a hotelier.
Well, first of all, as you know, what we have is public-private partnership. We don't have a situation where government dictates the operational activities of any of the entities. So the perception that may prevail anywhere that government has power to determine these things is, as you correctly said, misplaced. What we do is we work together and we look together at what the issues are and the responsible approach of the entities is required, of course, and expected, because we're all in the economy together. We are part of a social milieu that enables stability within the space, stability for the labor market, stability for the economic environment. So we work together. When we examine together what's happening in terms of the level of damage and the need for the insurance assessments and so on and so forth that has to be done, and also to look at how to restore a quality product. And a timeline is then established by the technical people. The government respects that and we work together. So I want it to be very clear that we as a government do not dictate timelines in terms of, how an entity comes back. What we do is that we would set timelines for the national arrangement and we work together to achieve that timeline.
Minister, I understand all that, but at the end of the day, our people are some of those individuals who get displaced. And while you can't exactly plan for that level of fallout, are there any contingencies in place to assist them?
Oh, yes. We established in the recovery task force arrangement a sub-team headed by Jessica Shannon and including all the key partners in the agencies of the government. The Jamaica Tourism Cares, which is a whole strategy of working with our workers to look at what their situation is in their communities, how damaged they were in terms of their physical facilities, i.e. housing, and what has happened to them in terms of their own economic capabilities to operate and survive during the period. And so, as a result, packages have been put together, care packages have been provided for the workers throughout. And that team has worked assiduously with the hotel partners in enabling a similar kind of arrangement. And to date, I must say, we are establishing a fund of some $1 billion to assist with the housing arrangement for the workers of the industry. And the hoteliers have responded extremely well, I must say, in terms of providing support for the workers at the moment. So what we have done is a little more, in fact, than COVID, but primarily because during COVID it was a all-encompassing arrangement that covers everyone. With Melissa, it's a situation where perhaps 70% of the workers of the industry are involved because most of the plans for the industry, as you know, would be in the 5 parishes that were impacted. So we have been working together to assist our workers as much as possible, and where a situation that there has to be a furlough or otherwise layoff of workers, appropriate arrangements are being made by the hotels to take appropriate care to provide the level of support that the workers require, whether it is for redundancy payments or it is for support during the period when they have to be laid off. While the government also is putting together the package as per we did with COVID to assist in this regard. So I just want the point to be made that this round, full attention is given to ensuring that the recovery does not leave the workers behind.
Whether large, medium, or small, is there any property in the worst affected parishes that will not reopen for business?
Oh, yes. We have indicated that. I believe you had a story earlier with some of those. Royalton.
No, man. They say they're reopening by September 2026, and they gave the dates for the individual properties. Right. So I'm saying if there are any large, small, or medium properties who have said, well, that's it, we're done, we're shutting down, that's it, no reopening, we're done.
No, man, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Everyone that has indicated that they will be not operating as of the 15th have all given indications as to timelines for the completion of their repairs and restoration activities. The only one that has not actually said to me what date they would is Catalonia, which is severely damaged, as you know, and perhaps may have to be rebuilt.
Oh. Your speech in the sectoral debate, the closing presentation, Minister, you spoke to three things that you said were very important and that work was being done in to bolster tourism. You spoke of market diversification, you spoke of market enhancement, and you spoke of airlift improvement. Now, clearly, the scale of this disaster means that the things of primary focus before October 28 have now changed where the strategy is concerned.
Well, essentially, the change is not a total change. It is a conditional change, as you would imagine. The markets remain, and the new markets that we said we were going after, we're still continuing that. One of the strengths of tourism, as you know, is its resilience. And once we have capacity, which we do have, and in fact, based on the timelines that are given for the full refurbishing of all the properties, we will have full capacity by the end of this year into the end of 26 into early 27. Those programs to ensure that there is a future proofing of the market will continue. Certainly South America has really come on strong and will remain so, and we are working assiduously to maintain.
But Minister, the point is, the point is what you outlined in that sectoral presentation were activities and primary areas of focus that you then used as the foundation for which the projections about visitor numbers and revenue from the industry. That was all in that package, with revenues obviously going to take a hit because properties are shuttered, with the disruption in the market space. Clearly, there has to be changes because your projections are going to have to be altered given the huge disruption to the economic activity in the industry. So that's what I mean when I say clearly those primary areas of focus have to change.
I was responding to you, George, in terms of the areas of involvement which would enable the outcome that we projected. And marketing is at the heart of it, as you know, and the markets that you have to secure and develop and expand. And so I was making the point to you that that element of our activities will continue and continue apace. In terms of the revenue flows, which is the outcome of our marketing activities, that will be impacted. And of course, you would expect that we will see a reduction in arrivals based on what we had historically projected, and you would also see a reduction in revenue. Even the employment levels will be affected as we recover fully over the next year.
And speaking to that recovery, Minister, and going forward, well, we're up on a break, Minister. Let's take that break and come back.
You're listening to Nationwide 90 FM. The time is...
It's 7:44.
Hawkeye expresses heartfelt sympathy to all Jamaicans impacted by Hurricane Melissa. As we recover together, we remain committed to securing what matters most. The temperature by Hawkeye is...
It's 26 degrees Celsius here in the capital city, Kingston. It's 26 out west in Montego Bay, and it's 20 in Mandeville.
For all your electrical needs, visit ABC Electrical Sales. They stock a wide variety of electrical supplies, including plugs, switches, panel boards, and conduits, plus energy-saving fixtures. ABC Electrical Sales stocks brands like GE, Siemens, Philips, Cutler Hammer, and Allen Bradley. They also offer free island-wide delivery just to suit your needs. Visit them at Shop 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10, or call 876-754-3714-5 or 876-754-3825-8. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business.
It's the Answer Select Your Discount sale. Up to 50% off when you select your discount at Answers Gifts and Home and Answers for Children. Select your discount sale at Answers now until Sunday, December 14, 2025.
Welcome back, listeners, viewers. We're talking tourism recovery and the way forward with the minister himself, that's Edmund Bartlett. And just before we took the break, the minister spoke to the expectation that, yes, revenues will be impacted, but the vision for tourism remains unshifted. So, Minister, on that same matter of the vision for tourism...
Sorry, Siobhan.
Yes?
Just before, I wanted to just conclude that comment that I was making with regards to the vision and direction.
Yes.
The fact of tourism is once we have a capacity, it's a V-shaped recovery that you will enjoy, because the instant convertibility of tourism enables for a very, very quick and rapid response, because the market is there, the demand is there, the value of the destination remains, and therefore working with our airlines and the tour operators who actually sell the destination will ensure a very rapid recovery and a V-shaped recovery, in fact.
Understood, Minister. But on that same matter of recovery, does this represent the time when you can really put into shape that idea of a Jamaica First tourism product, as you had exposed earlier this year? I mean, under the constraints represented by Hurricane Melissa, yes, we understand there will be displacement, there will be an impact to revenues, but still, certain aspects of the industry can still be molded, so to speak, during this time.
So, Javon and George, you two are taking me on a path that I must go, and I will go, because Jamaica, local first is not just a strategy, it's an imperative. And the reset of the industry post-Melissa is going to happen. And while the objectives that were set are still the basis of that reset, we are going to be able to perhaps move faster in terms of the strategy of local first during this immediate post-Melissa era. For one, we will be rebuilding with that strategy and policy direction fully in mind. And as we recover, we'll be able to implement all of these measures in a timely way, and in fact will be in a seamless way.
On the issue of pricing, Minister, I mean, our product sells, no, I don't want to say our product sells itself, because that then discounts the hard work that goes into selling it across the world. But indulge me if you will, the coming out of a disaster such as this, and when it is that the properties, the big ones that are to open in 8 months, 9 months, some a year from now, how do they win back people who bought vacations here, canceled them, bought them elsewhere. The approach to that mission and the role that pricing plays in that very important mission to win back market share or win back customers that you would have lost to your rivals.
Right. So in the normal run of things, that will be a challenging thought, George. But Jamaica enjoys a 42% repeat business, which is absolutely phenomenal in the marketplace. What it means is that our customer base is structured in a way that literally enables one to be relatively sure that when you begin any given year of activity, 42% of the business you had is going to be back with you. And that is the strength of our market. The other element is evident in the arrangements that the business partners have within the Caribbean and the Latin American region, so that the product in Jamaica is also common to a number of other countries around us, like the Dominican Republic, Mexico, St. Lucia, Barbados, the Cayman Islands, and so on and so forth. So what we do find is that there can be a level of dispersion of visitors within those areas while remaining their commitment to the brands that are in Jamaica, which are elsewhere. Sandals, for example, can move their guests around in the region, so can Rio, so can Excellence, so can a number of the other brands that we have in Jamaica. So we also are realizing something else. The level of brand loyalty is also dictating that people who are canceling or saying we won't do the vacation now are saying, okay, fine, we will be back when Jamaica is ready. And that's the strength again of the brand Jamaica in the international marketplace. So that's one of the reasons we can be fairly secure in the V-shaped recovery of which I spoke.
So, Minister, you don't sense any hesitance in terms of the overseas partners in returning to Jamaica following Hurricane Melissa once we've gotten past the recovery?
Well, so the other point that I did make is that the tour operators and travel agents partners are the huge drivers of the arrivals in Jamaica. They remain committed to it, so they continue to sell Jamaica, and they direct to a large extent where people go and how they arrange their travel plans. And as long as Jamaica remains in that mix over the period of time, we will continue to see that level of response from the market to Jamaica. The United States market is very strong for Jamaica, the UK market in a similar way, the Canadian market, and of course now the new markets that we're getting.
The issue of the workers' contracts, and we go back to workers, Minister, because they are the backbone of this industry. With the arrangements of employment set to end for many of them, and of course perhaps being employed under new terms when the hotel reopens, because they highly likely that there'll be enough cash to keep them tied to the company for the year in which some of these hotels are going to need to refurbish. May that be the opportunity for new, different and better contracts in terms of the terms between the hotel workers and their employers, given the excessive amount of grumbling we've heard in the past about the quality of the contracts that these workers have with these hoteliers?
Well, I made the point that post-Melissa will offer opportunity for resetting in a number of areas. And certainly labor market arrangements is not outside of that realm. And as we work to build the capacity of our workers to deliver at a higher level, and the market itself to respond to that new meritocracy that hopefully will emerge, we will see changes. And I have no doubt that that will be evident. Whilst I cannot predict with accuracy the type of responses that you will get from each property based in the fact that each has their own business models and their cost structures are different. I can certainly say that with the new capacity that we are creating and the fact that we're training and certifying our workers from high school level straight through, we are expecting to see significant changes also.
But the difficulty lies, though, Minister, in when the hoteliers will be leaning on you for protection from what they believe to be unreasonable demands from the unions representing the workers. And then the workers and their unions leaning on you to say, well, this is now, Minister, the chance for us to get contracts we feel better reflect the value of the workers, and we want you to lend your muscle to our advocacy or agitation. How do you function when both sides, very important, are calling on you to support their self-interest?
Well, firstly, I think the market is the driver of this whole process. Demand and supply continues to be a major element in the economic arrangement in business, as you know. I think ours will be the responsibility to create the framework in which that market energy can be expressed. Governments certainly do not insert themselves into the actual labor market arrangement except to assist in enabling the market to function fairly and efficiently. So whilst they will lean, and we know that, our job is to provide the framework so that the leaning on us is not total, it is supportive. And that's what we will do. We will support the entities on both sides to enable a fair and equitable market arrangement.
And speaking of the assistance and framework, Minister, while I know the country is heading in that direction of unemployment insurance, but certainly the tourism industry represents an opportunity to lead the way, so to speak. Under the circumstances, is that something that is now on the table?
Well, you know, we are having discussions around that because we do recognize that tourism has its vulnerabilities, and to protect our workers in general, we will have to look at these wider opportunities. So that's a discussion that no doubt we will try to encourage over the next few months as we do the resetting of the industry post-Melissa.
So just to recap before we leave you, Minister, you say you tour Friday and Saturday. Where do you go on Friday? Where do you go on Saturday?
Friday we do Negril, and based on the program that is currently being carried out, and as you know, Negril was the lesser of the impacted resort areas in the West. We are opening Negril essentially on Friday, and then we come to Montego Bay on Saturday.
Hear you on that. Thank you for your time this morning. All the best.
Thanks, Joe.
Oh, we couldn't leave you. No, before you leave, you have to say something about Jimmy Cliff, Mayor, Minister. Oh, gosh.
Oh, yes. You know, Jimmy Cliff is, as I said, a total creative. And in terms of icon, he is perhaps the most iconoclastic of all our entertainers, primarily because he has transcended that space of just entertainment into film and the silk screen. And he's perhaps Jamaica's most accomplished creative because he's excelled in all those critical areas. His commitment to Jamaica has never ever been questioned, and the brand quality that he presents internationally has made Jamaica really well positioned, especially in countries like Brazil and Europe and a number of other areas across the world where the name Jimmy Cliff resonates, not only because of the quality of his music, but the strength of his personality.
Thank you this morning, sir. All the best.
Thank you.
Ed Bartlett, MP for East Central St. James and the Minister of Tourism. Just before we go, Chevron, you know Cliff's many rivers to cross, of course. You know, I keep telling people that the best songs and the best poetry are written when people are sad going through problems. Nobody. Have you ever heard anybody happy write poetry?
There's a certain insanity or mental instability when it comes to poetry and other forms of literature.
But I'm just saying. So a man a person will lose a loved one and write a poem, write a song that goes on to become a hit with the audience. I've never heard somebody win the lotto and write a song or win the lotto and write a poem. We just don't. Happy people don't write poetry. Yeah? Anyway, Cliff's Many Rivers to Cross. He told Rolling Stone that they were asking him what motivated the song. And he says, everyone at some point asks, who am I? Why am I here? What am I going to do? He said that he wrote the song in the 60s when he moved from Kingston to the UK and realized it was a lot harder to make it there. He says, I came full of vigor. I'm going to make it. I'm going to be up there with the Beatles and the Stones. And then it wasn't really going like that. I was touring clubs, not breaking through. I was struggling with work, life, my identity. I couldn't find my place. Frustration fueled the song. Yeah, it reminds me of the late, great Bob Andy writing I've Got to Go Back Home, his classic hit. He says he was on a bus traveling and him have the one fear. The only money he had was the fear in his pocket. And he sat in the bus and he just started crying and just looking at his life and how sad his life was and the struggles, and the lyrics just came to him. So just like the Baba and the Many Rivers, I've Got to Go Back Home, Many Rivers to Cross with Jimmy. And one more before we run the theme, Jeremy. The harder they come, he says, the harder they come, which of course was written for the movie The Harder They Come. He says at first the title track was Hard Road to Travel. But one day we were talking about the lead character, Ivan O. Martin, and Perry Hensel said to me, well, looking at Ivan O. Martin life, the harder they come, the harder they fall. And he said, oh, the line stuck with him that Perry Hensel said, the harder they come, the harder they fall. And so he wrote the song around the line that Perry Hensel uttered, and that's what The Harder They Come germinated from. Yeah, these stories are what makes the music fascinating, history, people. Yes. Yeah, break time across Jamaica now. Front Page was brought to you today by ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business.
You're listening to Nationwide 90 FM. The time is...
It's 8 o'clock.
Success, powered by learning. The temperature, brought to you by Sandals Corporate University. Come grow with us is...
It remains 26 degrees Celsius here in the capital city, Kingston. Listeners, it's 26 out west in the Montego Bay, and it's 20 in Mandeville.
From the mountainside to seaside, countryside to townside, inside and outside, it's across Jamaica this morning.
Taking you across Jamaica on this Tuesday morning, the Ministry of Health and Wellness is reporting that it has trained 90 healthcare workers to provide support to victims of gender-based violence in the aftermath of Hurricane Melissa. The news comes as the country joins the global observance of International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women, marked annually on November 25. The day signals the start of 16 days of activism against gender-based violence. The global theme for 2025 is Unite to End Digital Violence Against Women and Girls. The Health Ministry's training was spearheaded by the Non-Communicable Diseases and Injury Prevention Unit. The virtual session was delivered in collaboration with the United Nations Population Fund and the Bureau of Gender Affairs. Those trained in managing interpersonal and gender-based violence in the aftermath of disaster include doctors, nurses, dentists, public health inspectors, vector control workers, and laboratory personnel. Midwives, nutritionists, dietitians, community health aides, psychiatrists, and social workers were also among the group in the public and private sectors which received the training. The Jamaica Urban Transit Company, JUTC, has introduced another new route. This is the 513 from Maypen Clarendon to downtown Kingston through the East-West Highway. The route will come into operation on Wednesday, November 26. The fare for adults will be $350, but adults with a JUTC Smart Fare card will pay $300. Seniors, children, students, and the disabled will enjoy a concession fare of $200 with the Smart Fare card. The National Health Fund, NHF, is advising the public that all NHF card centers across the island are open. Centers are operating at locations including major hospitals and health centers in all 14 parishes. NHF says the centers are ready to assist individuals who've lost their cards during the passage of Hurricane Melissa. Meanwhile, the agency says across these 6 hardest hit parishes, 118 participating pharmacies are now open. This reflects an 80% service restoration.
SCL Jamaica Limited is having a big blowout sale. Up to 70% off on Milwaukee tools. From power drills to saws, their top-notch Milwaukee tools will handle any project with ease. Hurry to SCL Jamaica Limited at Block L, Sagicor Industrial Center, 7 Norman Road, or call 876-938-1397 for more details. Sale runs November 10 to 28. Terms and conditions apply. Milwaukee, nothing but heavy duty.
This is a public service announcement from JPS. JPS is urging customers not to pay anyone to have their electricity service reconnected. Customers are reminded that unauthorized reconnections can be extremely dangerous and can result in serious injury, electrocution, or damage to property. This practice is unethical, illegal, and could delay restoration efforts. If anyone claiming to represent JPS requests payment for reconnection services, report it immediately to the nearest police station or JPS. JPS thanks all customers for their patience as teams continue working to restore power safely and as quickly as possible. That was a public service announcement from JPS.
Are you ready to turn your sales and marketing skills into high earnings? Nationwide 90 FM is searching for business development executives to help us grow our business and build lasting client relationships. If you have experience across all stages of the sales cycle and possess strong communication, negotiation, and time management skills with a proven sales track record, this opportunity is perfect for you. Join our team and work with the top corporate brands, media agencies, and of course, our on-air personalities. Enjoy networking opportunities, professional growth, and competitive commissions. Ready to take the next step? Send your resume to hr@nationwidenewsnetwork.com today.
Welcome back, listeners, viewers. We turn to matters of education, so to speak, and more importantly, matters of parenting. This is now Parent Month. It's Parent Month 2025. And the National Parenting Support Commission, that's the NPSC, an agency of the Ministry of Education, uses this medium to inform all its stakeholders that National Parent Month 2025 will focus on a post-Hurricane Melissa recovery mission, guided by the theme, Stronger Parenting Together. Over the years, Parent Month presented an opportunity to converge energies to confront parenting issues that affect the country as a whole. In some cases, the issues that impact parenting are not a result of a lack of know-how, but they arise from situations that are beyond our control. An example of this is a natural disaster like the one we just experienced. For more to the plans for National Parent Month, we are joined by the CEO of the National Parenting Support Commission, Keisha Carr. Good morning, Ms. Carr.
Good morning, Keisha. Good morning.
Keisha, good morning again. So, Keisha, how is the NPSC supporting parents who are coping with the trauma from Hurricane Melissa?
Thank you. Well, for this month, as you rightly said, we've had to pivot, if you will. We've had to change our focus. Usually Parent Month is a celebration of parents who participated in the education system. We do use the opportunity to highlight an issue. This month, we are responding to what we've all experienced, some more adversely impacted than others, by providing psychosocial support. We are also calling on communities, different groups, to join us in our effort, because we believe that there has to be an expansion of care. We laud all the entities who have responded very well by providing care packages, but I do believe that caring for mental, emotional, social, and even spiritual well-being at this time is important, and those services, psychosocial services, have to be included in the kind of care that we're offering to parents who have gone through what is or what was a very, very traumatic experience, and they are reeling from that as we speak.
That is true. You're right about the need for psychosocial and mental support at this time. So, under the theme Stronger Parenting Together and the emphasis placed on collective effort, what partnerships or stakeholder engagements are you prioritizing this year to strengthen those parenting initiatives across communities?
We're calling on everybody, persons from faith-based organizations, and we've had good response from the churches, persons from civil society groups, persons across the different ministries, because as a coordinating entity, it's important that we're pulling on all the other services. As we go in the field, people are telling us what they really need, and we want to ensure that we can tap into the other services so that we're responding appropriately. We're calling on persons from the neighboring parishes who have not been as adversely affected. We do have a team of volunteers who we call parent mentors. They're trained in psychosocial first aid. We're calling on persons who have been trained or persons who just want to volunteer and come and to listen and offer a helping hand to join us out there in the field. Already we've had responses too from people in academia, so persons from the University of the West Indies have responded as well. But the response cannot be too much. The idea is to put in everybody to support our fellow Jamaicans whose lives have really been affected in unimaginable ways by this hurricane.
And under that same heading, are there any specific programs or interventions that the NSPC will be rolling out?
Right, so the big emphasis here now is on psychosocial support, and we bring those where possible right across the country with an emphasis, as I said, on St. Elizabeth, Trelawney, Westmoreland. Those are the parishes that work it hardest. We're offering parenting education sections throughout the country as well. So for today, for example, we're at Clarendon College today, and we're also at Hope Family in downtown Kingston, primary school in downtown Kingston. So we're doing a number of things all over the country, particularly focusing on parenting education at this time. What do parents need to be looking out for? What should they be telling their children? How should they be coping with what's going on? How can they return to some semblance of normalcy? What are the first steps? What are the small goals they can set? And how can communities assist in this regard? So that's really what we'll be doing. It might not be as I don't want to use that other word that people use, but it might not be as an attractive venture at this time that will get all the attention and cameras, but I do believe that it is very important that we take care of our minds, take care of, tap into how we're feeling, connect socially, and of course, connect with God, tap into our spirituality, because when you have experiences that are unresolved, they do impact these areas of our lives in real ways. And the efforts now are to ensure that people come out psychosocially better, that at least they feel supported in this regard so that they can rebuild their lives. That is going to take time and effort.
I understand. And could you give us a little more details? While it's good to ensure that parents are able to provide that support for their children, is there any specific assistance being provided to the parents for their own emotional and psychological well-being, so to speak? I can imagine it's quite difficult being a parent at this time, let alone the impact it has on the children.
Absolutely. So parents need to, understand their own feelings. What are they going through? In many cases, we recognize signs of grief. When everything has been lost, you will grieve. So recognize where you are in terms of that process of grief. What are you feeling? And name the feeling as well, because a part of processing it is naming it. But also answer the question for yourself really well. How are you doing? How am I doing? Check in with myself. And having come up with those answers, then it's important to reach out for help if you're finding that you're struggling or you're sitting in a particular emotion that is not healthy way too long. Then it's important to offer help, because it's going to be difficult for you to help your children if you too are not in a space where you can even begin to process your feelings. So ask for help. Sometimes help is just getting a sounding board, a listening ear, to tell your story of the trauma you've gone through. And also remember that prayer is important because it's inspirational, it offers hope. So sometimes your questions, why did this happen? Why did God allow this to happen to me? So if there are pastors within your networks, it's important that you're speaking to them to understand what it is that you are feeling and to get strategies so that you can begin to cope. But a part of that is really being honest with yourself and saying in real ways exactly where you are in this process, in your process of recovery, and getting information to understand it and to move past. That's going to be important. And when we talk about parents here, Siobhan, many times it conjures an image of a woman. We're talking about males and females. Yes. And I'm happy to say that in our sessions with the men and in the field, the men have been very vulnerable, which we encourage. They're telling us how they're feeling, about how overwhelming it is. And we're able to give them immediate, strategies and encouragement to how to push on to get through this situation.
And on that final note, can you explain to us what the key objectives for this year's Parent Month will be, and how do you intend to inspire long-term sustainable change in the matter of family support and parenting?
All right. So the real objective right now, well, one of them is to make sure that parents feel supported in the ways mentioned, that the care packages and so on are very important because you must take care of yourself physically and you need food for that. Food is fuel, but you also need to take care of the mind, spirit, and your social well-being. So the immediate goal is to help persons to understand and to process through what they're going through, to process what they're going through. This recovery is going to be long-term, as I see it. It is not an automatic plan. So yes, we will be here for the long haul. We have launched some helplines. The primary number is 876-788-8606, where parents can call. We have trained persons to connect you to through the helplines. And of course, as a coordinating entity, we also be able to look at what the government is doing in terms of parenting and parenting support and connect you to those resources as well. So we're in it for the long haul. We're not saying that the recovery is going to be immediate. It doesn't look that way, certainly. So we're calling on the different communities to help us, to join us, to come together, to help the families, to help the parents that have gone through. The immediate objective, though, is to help parents to process their emotions, process their feelings, find out what they're thinking, ensure that they are reframing and maintaining positive thoughts, connecting to good social settings, even within the spaces that have been affected. I mean, when I was coming from St. Elizabeth to our events, one of the things I noticed was people gathering and playing dominoes and using the lights from the traffic to help. So any gathering now for support is good. Connecting with people is important. And I want to say to parents to accept a hug, because we're told that when persons hug us, that immediately our happy hormones increase. So accept a hug. It's amazing how that will help in the moment. When you hug somebody, it increases your happy hormones. Hug your children, but accept a hug too from persons who you come in contact with, because at least for the moment it does help.
Very good point to end on. That is Kesia Carr. She is the CEO of the National Parenting Support Commission. Thank you for joining us this morning, Kesia. All the best.
Welcome. Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Have a good morning. We take a break, listeners, and come back with more.
Are you living with HIV? It's time to access treatment, get back to business, and begin your path to a brighter, healthier future. The Time, brought to you by Jamaica AIDS Support for Life, is...
It's 8:20.
Fontana Pharmacy has a wide variety of items from pharmaceuticals, household, cosmetics, toys, and more. The Temperature by Fontana Pharmacy. It's all good inside is...
It's heating up, listeners. It's now 28 degrees Celsius here in the capital city, Kingston. It's 28 out west in Montego Bay, and it's 21 in Mandeville.
We in this together, hands and hearts will wide. We know things will get better, working side by side. We in this together, rebuilding homes and lives, no matter the weather. You are not alone.
Sagicor is contributing over $200 million to Jamaica's Hurricane Melissa recovery. We're also standing by our clients. If you're a client in need of support, call 888-SAGICOR.
What's that?
Are you ready to turn your sales and marketing skills into high earnings? Nationwide 90FM is searching for business development executives to help us grow our business and build lasting client relationships. If you have experience across all stages of the sales cycle and possess strong communication, negotiation, and time management skills with a proven sales track record, this opportunity is perfect for you. Join our team and work with the top corporate brands, media agencies, and of course, our on-air personalities. Enjoy networking opportunities, professional growth, and competitive commissions. Ready to take the next step? Send your resume to hr@nationwidenewsnetwork.com today.
They've lost homes.
Everything is gone. Have no house, have nothing.
They've lost power.
No water, no food, no light, no bed. Jamaican people need desperate help.
Some haven't heard a familiar voice in days.
The last thing I said to my sister, please be safe. And that was the last time.
For others, hope is starting to ebb. But together, we are rebuilding Jamaica, one parish at a time.
We have to try. We have to try. Can't give up.
Join Nationwide 90FM from November 21 to December 19, every Friday from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. as we broadcast live from Westmoreland, St. James, Trelawney, Hanover, and St. Elizabeth, helping families and communities rebuild after Hurricane Melissa.
And you can help too.
Bring your donations, non-perishable food, water, hygiene products, lighting, or recovery supplies to our office at 14 Ocean Boulevard, the Digital Building, downtown Kingston.
Let's show the true strength of our nation: unity, compassion, and care. Together, we can rebuild lives and restore hope. Nationwide 90 FM, the revolution in media.
Give us strength. Oh, never let I fail.
Welcome back, listeners. Taking your calls for a bit. The numbers 630-937-124 and 618-6730. Papa Nano, good morning.
Yes, morning, sir.
How you doing? You for
Chevron, yeah, man. Good.
Chevron, let me tell you something. I'm begging 1 minute because I don't have 20 time here.
All right, Papa Nano, go ahead.
You want to know this, what's on your mind this morning?
Yes.
I think it should be an award-winning show. Man, it is so classic.
Yes.
I am telling you nationwide that they get better. It can't get no worse. It is so. What? Listen to me. What you can do to stop you people? Tell me.
Thank you for that, Papa Dada. Thank you for that vote of confidence.
Anyway, nobody get rid of Mr. Crit. Listen to me. I know you don't have a little touch on the mask, bro. You don't like when people be going off too much, so you'll get rid of me quick. You're not going to stop me from talk. I want you to play it even 2 times today more. Do me a beg on you.
Cliff are going to play it, man. Don't worry yourself.
Yes, and listen, I'm begging you people to ask all the members of parliament if they can just, even for this year alone, remember that everyone in Jamaica, whether they vote for you or not, are your brothers and your sisters. And this thing here that they are doing, give answer to selected people as if to say, if I don't support you, you are not supposed to eat. Try see if you can put it over your station and tell them to desist.
Yeah, man.
It is very, very, very bad. It is bad. Right? And I'm talking about in my year in Scottsdale.
Yes.
But I hear took place in here.
Yes.
Just tell them please to change their ways. Whether you are JP or PNP.
Yes.
Don't make nobody tell you to go to the yard because the person never support him at JLP.
Yes.
So what is taking place. And tell Mr. Cousins from it, please. He's a 3-time MP. Don't listen to negative things.
Yes.
You know, to be honest to you, that's why I have a rate Joey Williams and Mr. Ennis, you know. Mr. Ennis, you know. Whether you're PNP or you're JLP or you're what, and Mr. Flatbean and Mr. Road across for the people there, you know. I tell you, boy, they have a road model and not even tell the Prime Minister because he's 1.5.
Yes.
Sure. And God bless you now, take you do. Remember, play that thing here that you had done this morning for me.
That's Chevron. Yeah, man. It's going to play.
God bless you and you take care of yourself.
Same to you, Papa Dada. Have a good morning.
I love you, man. I love you.
All right. All right.
Yeah, what a beautiful thing this morning.
All right, good morning.
Oh, we're good.
Yeah. George, you were in your element yesterday.
Yeah, man. Yesterday was a good day to be on air.
Yesterday, man, you had me glued.
Yes.
Even if I wanted to go to and when I spoke to Cliff last night, Cliff was another adjective, but I never know that one. So, allegiance has passed, and as I say, it has shaped the lives of so many people in this country, how we think, how we behave, how we dress.
Yes.
In the early 70s, the barefoot pants and the rude boy. Everybody wanted to be like him or somebody big after them, a Clint Eastwood or a Lee Van Cleef. But what got to me about him was that growing up, you talk about big movies like those white actors coming out of America and them places and big budget and so. And we, little Jamaica, was able to make a film like that is still relevant today, and the music from those films, plus the gentleman who passed yesterday, has been relevant all these years. So I think it is a good look for Jamaica, and we have not built on it properly over the years.
Yes.
So continue your background here, and those people are good, man. You can just spend a time looking about those things.
Yeah, man. It's an interest of mine, an area of interest.
Okay, because when I heard you, anytime anybody like this that you come like you were a part of them all your life. So I think I just want to go.
Yeah, that's I spend much of my leisure time doing that.
Leisure time working?
Yeah. And that's the secret, sir.
All right, man.
All right,
yeah,
sir.
Call, please.
Yeah, man. No problem, Alric. All right, cool. Yeah, man. William. I've heard from William in a while. Morning, William.
Morning, George. Morning, Siobhan.
How are you doing?
Well, give thanks. Two quick things here, George.
I mean, you were speaking about the singer them and them the sing song of our personal experience also.
Yeah.
First person come to my mind is Oriya Sunday.
Yes.
In first song, Skylarking.
Skylarking. Sleepy. Yeah.
I mean, the right up Prince of Wales Street, I'm not telling him when him do that song there.
Yes.
I always sing that song there. How you talking to them?
Yes. Big tune that, you know, William.
Yeah, man.
Big tune that, man. Big tune that.
And there's a quick point. The piece of road from up Victor Avenue go down to Breezer Castle. When that piece of road change, the name might change. Because I notice now a lot of people calling it South Camp Road.
Well, hold on. South Camp Road would start, hold on. So after you drive past, so hold on now. I'm coming from Tom Redcam, right? So I turn onto Camp. Right. And I come round now, and I pass the Arnold Road turn off, and I come round. Camp Road starts at the stoplight to turn left to go Vineyard Town. That's where it starts? South Camp Road?
Camp Road start there, so South Camp Road start there, so.
Right, and then all the way down now, past Sabina, past Alpha.
Right down to where police start the stoplight them there.
Yeah.
And that's where South Camp Road stop.
Stop? Oh, where it intersect with? Not East Queen Street at?
No, man, Victoria.
Victoria, right. Okay, good.
So below that now, they call the piece of the new road from it just cut. The piece of road they cut. Me older than that road and so Camp Road older than me.
Okay. All right.
And all of us now hear the new road, we know it has up in what me hear people calling it South Camp Road.
No, man. It's just, you know, people just use the prominent road name. It's just like, all right. William, if a man come from country who know town moderately well, and I'm telling him that me broke down right on what you call New Road, and him a drive come from Sabina, I'm going to tell him, say, come down pan South Camp Road, man, come right the way down and you will see me. I'm not going to tell him somebody on New Road because, New Road, you know what I mean? So I think that's what has happened over time to the descriptor.
No, but the thing is this, you know, I understand you full, but if him come down to the bottom, I might ask somebody else and person say, well, South Camp Road stop here, so, you know, a New Road, fan base will go down, so the person will do.
I understand, but remember now, he's coming from South Camp Road, and if he drives straight, he's going to drive right now the sea. So if you come all the way down, so I take your point, of course, that's a valid point. But I'm just explaining how I think the bastardization may have happened.
No, well, I remember the last time I said they go on down there, you know.
Yeah.
And I heard the news, this incident at my
South Camp Road
and Tower Street corner.
And let me also tell you something again, William. Yeah. You see, sometimes the police, when they write the statement, them that the media then writes as they get it because of the police said it, sometimes the police then get the road them mix up.
Yeah, man.
It happened a lot. It happened a lot.
It
happened a lot, yeah. So I guess that's a part of it as well.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. All right. Respect.
Yeah,
cool.
Yeah.
Christopher, good morning.
George, morning.
Morning, sir.
Christopher here.
Yes, sir.
You know, I just want to endorse what I hear Papa Nana say about...
Chevron's what's on my mind?
The political thing where they... Pick out the JLP and the PNP to give things. I saw it happen in Rumble, Southeast Centre.
Yes.
A couple of weeks ago.
Yes.
The water truck coming there, George, and if you know Centre, Southeast Centre, it's at a place of plenty water.
Yes.
And you send a truck in Southeast Centre, especially a place like Rumble where there's no gully, there's nothing there where you can get any water. Either you buy the water or you'd have to call a truck and order the water.
Yes.
And you send a truck in there and only send them to specific PNP house. That's fair to the people.
That's right.
Of Jamaica.
That's right.
And it hurt me very much to see that happening down there.
Yes.
And there are some people there can buy water, but there are some just can't afford it.
But before you go further, Chris, which popular town is Rumble close to? Because I don't know, I've never heard of Rumble before. Okay, good. All right, good.
You understand?
Yeah.
And I don't believe that the MP or whoever should do such thing, because in a time like now where we should stand firm for our brothers and sisters, that you should politicize.
Yeah. Water should never be politicized. So it's never a good time for that.
Never be politicized.
Yes.
George.
Yes.
And it hurt me from the other day. I've been trying to get through the program and I couldn't get through to it. So when I hear Banana talk about it a while ago, I have the experience of it. I see it up in front of me.
Yes.
And it should never happen. I would like these parliamentarians to look very carefully in what they are doing and realize that they are servants for every single Jamaican in a constituency that they represent.
We should make the politicization of water a crime, Christopher.
You understand that?
Yes. It's a awful thing.
It's a very awful thing, John.
Yes.
And as I said in a rumble, either you have to call a truck to get water, or if they don't send water there, but if I imagine you send water truck there and then you're going to tell them that they must go to that house, they should not give that house water. It is not fair.
Yes.
It is just not fair. And there's a second point that I want to make. With the toll road, I'm asking Mr. Vaz, please, if we can talk to these poor people, because what really happened, I find like my one that I drive from Caymanas Park to Miami Bay. It is $4,700 it cost me $9,400 to go and come on it.
Right.
And I believe that it is too expensive.
Almost 10 grand a day. Come on,
Almost 10 grand a day.
Whoa.
I have to use that toll road very often.
Yes.
And I don't believe that the toll should be so expensive.
So you make two trip a day, almost 20 grand that?
And I have to use it almost every day, maybe 1 or 2 days of the week. I don't use it on 7 days of the week.
Yeah, that rough, man. That's bad. That's bad.
And that is very well. I want to talk about Class 2 vehicle. I'm talking about the highest bus. I'll tell you the highest bus that I have to drive. This is too heavy.
10 grand to come and go on the
10
toll.
grand to come and go. From Miami Bay from Caymanas Park to Miami Bay.
Yeah.
It is really rough. It's too high.
Yeah.
So I'm spending the minutes of transport if you could just talk to them.
What you deliver at Caymanas Park?
No, I don't deliver here. I use the toll to go and come.
Yeah, but me a fast name business. Where you go Caymanas Park go to?
Well, I have to go to Ochi.
Oh, I understand what you mean. Okay. Understand what you
You
mean.
understand?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to go to Ochi.
Understood.
Almost every day.
Understood. Boy, yeah. The authorities are here again, boy. That boy, I don't know how I could manage 10 grand a day for come and go on the toll.
So come and go.
Yeah.
That is really high. So I'm just begging the Minister of Transport if he could just speak to them, please.
All right, sir.
Yes, sir.
Hear you this morning.
Have a wonderful day.
So you're appealing to Dr. Kenneth Russell on the one hand, and all politicians in Southeast St. and he's a member of Parliament for Southeast St. and Dr. Kenneth Russell.
Yes,
and you need some justice where the water is concerned.
We need some justice where the water is concerned, sir.
Yes, fairness and justice. No orange water, no green water.
Exactly, sir.
Right.
I don't believe that it's like because of a political color is because that person did vote for you or whatever. You become the MP, so you become the MP for everybody.
Very well, sir. Thank you this morning.
Thank you very much, George.
All right, good. We are looking at a breaking news item that the Ukrainian officials have agreed to the text of the proposal put forward by the United States for peace with Russia. The Ukrainians have agreed the deal to end the war with Russia. The key part, though, of course, is Russia agreeing the deal. So that's not touched yet. But the Ukrainians say they are comfortable with the deal. They like the deal. They'll sign the deal. That's what we're being told coming out of the United States. The big part now is for the Russians to play ball. Let's see what happens on that score.
Grace is giving shoppers discounts on over 20 of your favorite Grace products when you cash out at participating supermarkets.
The time by Grace Good Move is...
It's 8:37.
Looking for a gym that's got it all? Welcome to Express Fitness, where fitness meets convenience. With 24/7 access, you can work out whenever it suits you. And with island-wide locations, we're always close by anywhere and anytime. Love classes? We've got them. From aerobics to dance to spin, you name it, we've got it. Our certified trainers are here to take you on a journey. Call us at 888-FITNESS or visit our website at expressfitnessja.com. Express Fitness, your goal or mission.
We in this together, hands on hearts spread wide. We know things will get better, working side by side. We in this together, rebuilding homes and lives, no matter the weather. You are not alone.
Sagicor is contributing over 200 million to Jamaica's Hurricane Melissa recovery. We're also standing by our clients. If you're a client in need of support, call 888-SAGICOR.
A Healthier You is brought to you by Express Fitness. Your goal is our mission.
Yes, listeners, time for a Healthier You. In the aftermath of Hurricane Melissa, one of the groups most deeply affected is our elderly population. Many seniors across the island are facing damaged homes, disrupted routines, and emotional distress brought on by the Category 5 system. For older Jamaicans, especially those living alone, managing chronic illnesses or relying on community support, the road to recovery can be especially challenging. And as the nation continues its rebuilding efforts, it has become clear that the elderly need not only structural assistance, but emotional and physical support as well. Well, to discuss this, we are joined by Professor of Public Health and Aging, Denise Elder-Maya Shearer. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
It is a pleasure to hear from you, Professor Shearer.
Thank you.
So, when you're dealing with something as traumatic as a Category 5 hurricane passing through the island, it's difficult as it is just as a normal young Jamaican. I can only imagine the additional pressures when it comes to the elderly population. What can we do to look out for our senior citizens at this time?
Thank you. I think one of the things we need to appreciate is that their needs are different. They have mobility issues in addition to everything else. Of course, 70% of them have at least one chronic disease. So they start off with these additional needs. What we have found, both from Ivan and Gilbert, there are also some social issues. They do not want to leave the area that they are in. Even if the house, we certainly saw it in Portland Cottage in Ivan, they are afraid that the things that they have saved, that they do, even if they get a tarpaulin, will be stolen if they leave the area for any length of time. So you find a certain reluctance to come to access services. The mobility issues, the arthritis, the heart disease, make standing in lines for the packages and the relief burdensome. In addition to which, they are often pushed out of the way by younger persons because of desperation, not unkindness at this time. So we have to start off with an understanding of what we're dealing with. There are also some communities still cut off. And older people simply can't walk over tree stumps and that because they'll fall. So their needs are different, which has been recognized by the various ministries, and there are efforts to get things to them where they are. Some of the health centers have opened. The ministry is very aware of this. Ministry has a program, Ministry of Health and Wellness has a program targeting seniors, recognizing the need, as does local government, because remember we have infirmaries, we have homeless, we have the outdoor poor. So there are also groups of older people that are covered by other ministries. We're all working as a team. So when it comes to the mental health issues, older people have both a negative and a positive. There's the negative, as you said, because they really don't know how they're going to bounce back. They don't know, most of them can't, even if you give them building materials. A little old lady of 84, 85 cannot climb on a roof.
Yes.
So this is where church groups, and that's what you said, how can we help? I know of one youngster that went down to Clarendon to help put back on grandma's roof. So we need to be cognizant that the needs of older people are not only financial at times like this, because They may be able to get some zinc. They may be beneficiaries. Let us all recognize, too, that many of these houses that have been destroyed or the roof gone are actually owned by the senior citizen. Therefore, we have to make sure to get this assistance to them. They're also resilient. Let us not forget the resilience of our older people. Many of them have been through Charlie, Gilbert, Ivan. So they can actually be used to show that we can survive. Now they're older, their needs are different, and they are worried. But they're both resilient and at risk.
And let's turn to the matter of resilience. We've talked about the vulnerabilities, but let's look at the matter of resilience. Many of those senior citizens, elderly, they know how to survive in a time when you didn't have the kind of electrically driven comforts that we enjoy nowadays. Right. So you could probably turn to them for that kind of support as to what do you do in terms of getting by in those situations.
You can, and you can encourage the grandchildren to go and spend some time with the grandparents. We've heard a lot, both anecdotal and factual, of how traumatized children are. Many of them do have grandparents. And I think the most striking thing for me for Gilbert was an elderly St. Elizabeth lady who was actually at the arena in a shelter, having lost her house and her roof, walking around around the arena, saying to the younger people, I'm still here after Charlie. So we can get through it. And she was actually giving hope to people while she herself is in a shelter. There's also a risk, and we did see this before, that they may get stuck in shelters. If they do not have people living alone, if they don't have family and they are living alone, there is that risk, and it means that the community services have to be aware of this.
And that's a good point, because one of the things I have the most concern for is, as you say, they have mobility issues, and it's very easy to essentially forget the elderly among us because of those issues. They're unable to make those appeals for themselves. How do we ensure that they're included in the recovery and relief efforts?
We ask the groups that are visiting to, if they know of an older person, if on their, sojourns into areas to hand out relief. And I mean, it's been amazing, the response. If they come across an older person, say something to the public health nurse, the community health aide, or the local government officers. If you know of an older person, bring it to the attention. There's also the National Council. Be your brother's keeper and bring it to the attention of somebody so that the poor relief officer or the community health aide can visit. Let us recognize that at a time like this, a poor relief officer visiting does not mean you're indigent. It just means somebody cares and can get attention. And let us not forget the church groups. The church groups are out there, and they were a real vital part of the recovery in previous hurricanes. They have young people that have to do service. So if you bring somebody's attention to the church, they often will send their youth brigade up to visit and to help.
That is a good point to end on, Professor Elder Maya Shearer. The elderly among us do need the assistance, all the assistance they can get in this difficult time. And if you know somebody who's elderly around you, go check on them, at least to make sure that they're okay. Do your inquiries to see if they require any assistance and pass it on to the authorities. Thank you for joining us this morning, Professor Shearer.
Thank you very much for highlighting the issue.
Have a good morning.
You too.
We take a break, listeners, and come back with your birthdays.
A Healthier You was brought to you by Express Fitness. Your goal is our mission.
You're listening to Nationwide 90 FM. The time is...
It's 8:49.
The Birthday Club is brought to you by Burger King.
Holla me, holla yo, holla way, follow me and holla for the new cheesy jalapeno whopper from BK. Hata afa we say new cheesy jalapeno whopper make we talk in a gypsy. Well a pot, me I forget the new BK cheesy jalapeno whopper. Whole heap of spicy jalapenos and creamy cheese sauce. Get the combo with fries and drinks for $1,350. Holla me, holla yo, holla way, follow me and holla for the new cheesy jalapeno whopper from BK. It's the new BK cheesy jalapeno whopper from Burger King. Can you hear me calling out your name? You know that I'm falling and I don't know what to say. I'll speak a little louder, I'll even shout. You know that I'm proud and I can't get the words out. I wanna be with you everywhere. I wanna be with you everywhere. Something's happening to me. My friends say I'm acting peculiarly. Come on, baby, we better make a start. You better make it soon before you break my heart. I wanna be with you everywhere. When it feels like the world is on your shoulders and all of the madness has got you going crazy, it's time to get out, step out into the street where all of the action is right there at your feet. Well, I know a place where we can dance the whole night away underneath the electric stars. Just come with me and we can shake your blues right away. You'll be doing fine once the music starts.
you to me, there's a world.
Go on, Chevon. Go on, Chevon. Go on, Chevon. Don't pull up in the king. Don't pull. Cut. Hey. Woo. So King started. The first song I played was what? Everywhere. Fleetwood. Yeah, man. So you got Everywhere. Fleetwood Mac. Then you got The Barge. Then you got Laura Branigan. Then you come Rick Astley. Youth. You go do bad this man. You have something else? Cheese and peace. The man come Madonna. La Isla where? You want enough to eat late. So me eat late. I'll go to bed. I guess what happened now? After me eat late, what happened to me now? Last night what? Last night I dreamt of. You're bad.
Let's actually do some of the birthdays, Sir George. 4 minutes left to that. Anyways,
run it, man.
Please arrange for it. Thanks. Belated
Bunks it, low, King, make him do the birthday. Bunks it low.
Belated happy birthday greetings to Caroline Brown, who celebrated in style yesterday. May God continue to bestow his blessings on you, your wonderful friend. That's coming from Lurleen. Also, happy birthday to Cassie Mendez, Nioka Goodwin, Kiara Helsley Allen. I see here Raquel Allen, Christopher Norman, and Dolly Bonnie Rich, all celebrating their birthdays today. Happy birthday to you all. And I think I have one more on YouTube. That is birthday greetings this morning going to Marva Thomas. So happy birthday to you, Marva Thomas.
No, man, Marva Thomas' birthday of load up, man. Good morning, Marva! Marva Thomas is one of our foremost YouTubers. Ultimately special. So Marva, enjoy the day. I'm laying it on thick because you deserve it. And I wish you many, many more, and I hope you have a great day. So Marva Thomas, happy birthday coming from the Nationwide family. You're a part of the family, so your family members telling you happy birthday this morning, Marva. Have a great one. Sharon Kane says, happy birthday to my sister Charlene and my grandnephew Orlando, a.k.a. Bling. May the good Lord continue to bless and keep you always. So Sharon Kane sending happy birthday greetings to her sister Charlene and her grandnephew Orlando, a.k.a. Bling. May the good Lord continue to bless and keep you always.
I see Patrick Richardson say happy birthday to her sister Pauline White on her 59th year around the sun. Have a wonderful day, Paulette, and many blessed returns from all your sisters. That's coming from Patricia Richardson.
Yep. I think that's it in the YouTube chat. Yeah, man, turn up a tune then.
Birthday Club was brought to you by Burger King.
Holla me, holla yo, holla way, follow me and holla for the new cheesy jalapeno whopper from BK. Hata afa we say new cheesy jalapeno whopper make we talk in a gypsy. Well a pot, me I forget the new BK cheesy jalapeno whopper. Whole heap of spicy jalapenos and creamy cheese sauce. Get the combo with fries and drinks for $1,350. Holla me, holla yo, holla way, follow me and holla for the new cheesy jalapeno whopper from BK. It's the new BK cheesy jalapeno whopper from Burger King.
a slight correction. It's not Marva's birthday today. She's actually sending out birthday greetings to her grandson.
Jesus,
so my apologies for that, Marva. You should have put that in the...
Anyway, Marva, take the birthday greetings in advance. Take the birthday greetings in advance. It must come. Yeah?
So actually, happy birthday to Marva's grandson. Have a good birthday, Marva's grandson, wherever you may be coming from, Marva Thomas.
Marva, take the birthday greetings, Grandma. It no matter. Take it. We can't pull back that. What man say? There have been so many things
that's held us down.
Choo, choo, choo.
But now it looks like things are finally coming around. I know we've got a long, long way to go. And where we'll end up,
I don't know.
But we won't let nothing hold us back.
Anyway, Siobhan, time to leave.
Yes, so have a good morning, listeners, viewers. Thank you for joining us. Thanks to our super producer this morning, that is Michelle McCrae Smith. The musical maestro, as always, is Jermaine King. Always thanks to Kimon Thompson in the newsroom, who's holding down the fort almost solo this morning. And thanks to all our YouTubers and the entire Nationwide family. Thank you for joining us. As usual, it has been an honor and a privilege. I'm Siobhan Campbell.
Morning, and Kimon does that every morning as a matter of course, okay? Yeah, man. Big up yourself, Kimon.
You've just heard Nationwide this morning on Nationwide 90 FM.
Fearless and fair. Nationwide 90 FM.